Hello everyone, I'm nobody of particular significance, and this is the introduction to part 1 of the story, running title 7 Newton's Prime. The story is pretty much the product of me getting into a discussion with some of my other writer friends about the concept of magic. Afterwards, I wrote something of an essay, mostly for my own sake, during which I defined the idea of magic as making something tangible occur in the universe without really having to explain the hows and whys of said occurrence. I elaborated to say that in this universe, as it is, everything that exists is measurable, understandable. Everything that exists must exist in a particular quantifiable way. Magic, on the other hand, does not. Summoning things into existence, turning one thing into something else, these are things that cannot be measured, that cannot be understood. And sure, maybe it's some kind of channeling energy from other dimensions or something like that, but what magic really is simply not wanting to be held accountable to the laws of the universe. Cheating, effectively. I came to the conclusion that if one really was able to affect the universe in some sort of tangible way without having to worry about the hows and whys, then that would be something that everyone should be very, very concerned about. Take the scene from the third Harry Potter movie where Harry falls from his broom after being attacked by Dementors. He falls a fair way, likely reaching terminal velocity, at which point Dumbledore doesn't even draw his wand. Instead, he simply points a finger, speaks 2 words of quasi-Latin, and counteracts Harry's momentum completely, in about half a second. Now, even without any math, logically, if that is a spell, then surely there are probably other spells, 2 other words of quasi-Latin that you could speak to not decelerate, but accelerate someone to deadly speeds. Forget the killing curse, that's just the opposite of arresto momentum, and that guy is raspberry jam all over the wall. Now that I think about it, that's probably what Bombarda is. Now, of course, if someone, anyone, just one person, say, were able to just impart up to 40,000 newtons, by my math, anywhere they wanted to, they would basically just break the world. Really, if someone had so much as a single joule or a single newton of force that they were able to just use in any way they wanted, then, assuming they were smart enough, nothing would be able to stop them. So, the premise of this story is exactly that, times 7. The main character is telekinetic, being able to import force using only his mind. But unlike other telekinetic characters that you might know from comic books, he doesn't have thousands of newtons to throw around. He can't go around levitating himself and throwing cars around or hurling giant boulders. No, he has only 7 newtons to his name, hence the title. 7 newtons is about enough to lift 700 grams, with a little left to move it around. So, no cars, no tossing people, no Jedi-esque force, push or pull, unless it's the television remote. That's just about it. However, if you do the math, you might realize that 7 newtons, while not sounding like much, is actually terrifying. No, he can't throw people around, but he can accelerate a 20-gram hunting arrow to supersonic speeds within a second, which will then, upon impact, have kinetic energy equivalent to an anti-material sniper round. Or he could produce about an inch worth of perfect vacuum and Vader-style choke you to death. Or poke a hole right through your heart, or tear all your major nerve clusters apart in alphabetical order. In truth, the human body is hilariously fragile. 7 newtons is, as it turns out, overkill if you use it right. Throughout this story, you will be introduced to various different entities with abilities that are mostly scientifically viable versions of comic book superpower concepts. Things like laser eyes or pyrokinesis. The difference being that I have calculated to the joule exactly how much energy each of these powers is using at any one time, and gone through some lengths to make each ability work in a specific, scientifically valid, not possible, mind you, but valid way. The reason I'm doing it all in this way is so that I know exactly where the limits of each character are. I know exactly how much the pyrokinetic would be able to, say, heat up something, or exactly how far that teleporter can go, meaning if that, say, someone is falling off a building, as always seems to happen in superhero films, and the math says that the teleporter can't get there in time, then that person is going to splat. In addition, if mathematically or scientifically speaking, someone's ability should be able to behave in a way that is unexpected, say if someone were to say to me, hey, that character that can reduce the temperature of particles at will without negative effects to himself, does that mean that he'll be able to reduce his own temperature to the point that his body will start acting like a wave? And does that mean he'll be able to travel at light speed? Well, I mean, if the science and the maths checks out, then yeah, he probably can. I might use that. But to be clear, in this universe, all of the physical constants of the real world apply. I'm not going to simply ignore the rules because I think something might be cooler. All abilities will be able to do what and only what they should be able to do based on the concept of the character and the physical constraints of the laws of physics. Now, don't go thinking that restricting myself like this is going to make the powers seem less interesting. Quite the opposite. But you'll have to listen to find out. The theme of this story is fear the math. I'm kidding. The theme of this story really is knowledge is power, which, now that I think about it, is pretty much the same thing. 7 Newton's Prime, Part 1. Hello! Good to see you could all make it. Sorry to have kept you all waiting. A short, somewhat stocky man in a dark black suit with thick black sunglasses saunters into the room, clattering his cane about as he makes his way to the vacant end of the 2 fold-out tables covered in unpleasant photographs. Very appreciated. Didn't think anyone would make it. Really very kind. I do hope you're all comfortable. I made, did you bring out the... Yeah, boss. Good. I was just about to say, I made some little cookies, I think. He feels around the table to find the now half-empty plates of cookies. Ah, good. Yes, you found the cookies. Yep. This is, Ray, everyone. Ray is my big scary guy. Everyone needs a big scary guy, don't they? And it looks like you all brought your big scary guys as well. Or maybe you don't need... Maybe you guys are big and scary yourselves. I don't... I'm not big and scary, you see, so I need big scary guys so people take me seriously. But you can probably see that. There are almost 30 people in the room, 8 of which sit around the table. The rest stand strategically around the room, fingering their poorly concealed firearms. Fuck is going on here, man? A large, dark-skinned man breaks the ice. How the fuck did you get my number? Haha, yes, about that, I actually have people for that. Haven't had people for things before. It's kind of nice. I used to, I didn't have people, so, but they were useless, honestly. I'm sure you're all wondering, about the pictures I sent you. Sorry if they weren't very well framed. I'm, not very good with the camera these days. I really am, blind, by the way. Of course, the trouble is that no one ever takes a blind dude seriously, And that's fine, we are mostly harmless. But, hey, I make good cookies, right? And they're all looking at me like I'm a moron, aren't they? Yes, sir, Ray confirms. There has been a great deal of rolling of eyes and scoffs from people around the room. All the local bosses are either here or represented. The Japanese representative is the nephew of all of New York's head boss. The Chinese are represented by the local Triad's branch leader. There are high-level lieutenants from the two main local African American gangs. One, a large, comfortable-looking man who's treated himself to some of the chocolate-dipped cookies, and the smaller, more volatile one that had interrupted earlier. The Italians and Irish are represented by higher-ups as well, but only the two Latin American gang leaders actually showed up in person. I'm sure you have called us here for a reason, yes? The Chinese representative asks. Oh yes, two reasons. Well, three. Two. Let's go with three reasons. Yes, thank you. He waves his cane around the edge of the table. Was there not a chair? I thought we had a spare chair. You know what? I'll stand. That's fine. It'll add to the drama. All right. First thing. The blind man begins pacing a little bit, jangling slightly with each step. Power. Power is the name of the game, isn't it? It's the game we're all playing. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Get some nodding. Are people nodding? Couple of people nodding. Yeah. Okay. See, money's a good one. That's power right there. Fear, respect, connections. I guess that's where it's at. Yeah. Many people around the room are really starting to get restless now. Not only are there many important people here from major local gangs, but now they're being lectured by some little blind guy. See, and I'm sorry for wasting so much of your time. I really will make it up to you, I promise. But, you see, nobody fears me. I mean, of course they don't. I'm just a little blind white boy. It's about as unassuming as people get, really. Which is why I'm taking the extra time to build up to my first point. So, first the two things, actually. The first two things are gifts. The gifts. Aside from the cookies, that was just a bonus. The first gift is basically to let you know why you should take the third thing seriously. Said third thing, just so you know, is a demand. One of the African American armed bodyguards scoffs very loudly. Oh, I know what you mean. See, you know, guns. You've all got guns. You know, another big thing when it comes to power, of course. You know, just point the fucker and pull the trigger and bam. You know, there's a hole in something all the way over there, right? Of course, it'll make you feel powerful. You know, in fact, I bet the only reason you haven't all opened fire on one another is because everyone else has got guns too, and that's the trouble. You know, everyone in this room has guns. You know, the power to take life, all that. Really, if everyone in the room has the same amount of power, then really no one has any. The blind man stops pacing as a number of people around the room nod vaguely. But then, obviously, if you're the one in the room with the most power, then I guess, well, he gives a long, low sigh. Well, then I guess you'd have to take me seriously. And how are you going to do that? One of the guards standing around the perimeter of the room goads. Oh, I know, you're not taking me seriously still. Even after sending you all the pictures of what I did to the Iron Devil bikers, most of you are just here out of curiosity. You did that to the devils. One of the Latin American asks in a heavy tone of disbelief. They didn't fear me either, the blind man says. Probably should have. Yeah? Why is that then? The same armed man who had interrupted first asks. Because the man reaches deep into his coat pockets, while you're all sitting here, secure in your supposed safety, you would all fail to realize one frankly hilarious thing. The man draws his hands out of his pockets, bringing with them entire fistfuls of small, long lengths of metal. I have all your firing pins. What the fuck? The room is immediately filled with frantic cursing and hurried clatters as everyone in the room, save for one of the Latin American bosses and the two Asian representatives, hurriedly check their firearms, even attempting to discharge at the blind man, only to find themselves disappointed by the rather pathetic-sounding clicks. Before long, they have all begun to check their backup firearms, some even having a third weapon, all of which are equally as useless as any other. Tensions continue to rise until, one by one, the armed men begin to get the point and stare, equally puzzled and terrified, at the apparently blind man. "Ray, could you please—" The blind man signals his man. "Yes, boss." The man responds with a grin. He draws his firearm, holding it at his side. The room turns from panicked chaos to perfect silence in an instant. "You see that?" Firing pins of various lengths and revolver hammers, the metal having been cut cleanly, now fall onto the table. The clanging down of each piece of metal causes the petrified figures in the room to wince, which Ray enjoys more than little. Yep, see, now everyone's taking this seriously." "Yep," Ray concludes. "Could probably play a round of Simon Says." "Honestly, you people, how the fuck did you—" The same man who had interrupted before now draws a small black rectangle from which emerges a short blade. "You better—" He takes only a step forward towards the blind man before the knife falls apart. The steel rivets and blade clatter onto the floor. Another man draws a heavy-duty combat knife from under his coat, only to find that only half an inch of the blade remains attached to the handle, while the rest remains in its tattered leather holster stitched inside his jacket. Holy fuck. Yeah, so, are we all done? The blind man asks. Yeah. The now switchbladeless man clears his throat. Yeah, I'm fucking done. He retakes his seat. Alright, well in that case, should we go ahead and move on to number 2, or did we want to dwell on this for a moment? The blind man asks. "This man," the Japanese leader begins, gesturing discreetly at a man on the other side of the room, "had a very small pistol on his ankle." He holds his fingers apart to indicate the size. "This big." "How could you know?" Okay, see, alright. You know in movies, when, someone says, "You don't want to know," and then the other character is like, "Yeah, no, I really do want to know," and the first character is like, nah, you really don't. And then of course the other character finds out later, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, I really didn't want to know. Ignorance, in fact, was bliss." He almost begins chortling at the idea. "I like this guy," one of the Latin heads notes. "Ooh, and I like your voice," the blind man grins. "Has a lovely, gravelly texture to it." "Ah, that's too much smoking when I was young, my friend." "Oh, yes. No, I have to stay away from that. We've got asthma in the family." He sighs. "Also, Parkinson's. Tell you what thing, I'm not passing on my genetics. I will absolutely goddamn adopt." He shakes his head. Sidetracked. Sorry. He taps his cane on the floor twice. When I say the less you know is safer for you, by the way, I really do mean it, he informs the room. When I say that there are things in this world against which there is no defense, he continues to draw stray firing pins and broken revolver hammers from his pockets, his tone gradually lowering. I mean that too. And when I say that despite knowing that the people in this room represent some of the most detestable, repugnant, drug-farming, human-trafficking douchebags on the planet, among you, I'm sure there are slave traders, mass murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and all manner of human garbage. But when I say that I could kill all of you right now, no one in the room even blinks at this point, and not lose a single hour of sleep. All of their minds have been ticking over for a while now, wondering exactly how this might have come to pass. Could it be some kind of prank? Could someone have removed parts of their guns beforehand and not a single one of them had noticed? Could someone have somehow compromised the integrity of their knives before being drawn? And when I say that despite all your cumulative crime, I suppose, can't think of a better word, when I say that I have much bigger fish to fry, I want you to be just a little bit frightened. The room sits, considering what exactly he might mean by this. Nearly a full minute goes past before Ray finally speaks up. Boss, if you're done intimidating people. Right! Yeah, sorry, just making sure that all sunk in. He chuckles to himself as Ray fetches a rather large map of Greater New York area. Onto, oh, right, might want to, take your firing pins back. I didn't bother to keep a track of which guns I took them from, so... Oh, I am happy to reimburse for the, damage, by the way, to the revolvers, at least. Yes, even the... Yes, even the ridiculous, 0500 revolver that someone brought. Are there many bears to hunt in New York? Aside from this one. He refers to Ray. Alright! So, the highlighted area, there's a highlighted area, right? Yeah, boss. Alright, cool. So, the highlighted area here, it's here, yeah? Okay. Until last week, was controlled by the Iron Devils. Now, as I said, the second thing is a gift. It's a gift. It's a good one. It's a proper one this time. See, this is quite a lot of territory. You know, it even has a little stretch of docks. See, that's I'm pointing. Yeah, okay. And you know the best part? I don't want it. The blind man announces. The leaders around the room immediately sit up straighter. So, who'd like a stretch of dock? Well, I'd like a stretch of dock. The gravelly-voiced man raises a hand. Whoa now, hey, wait. One of the African-American leaders begins. Before! The blind man raises his cane, which silences the room as though it were a sword pulled from a stone. Before you get onto all of that, I want to touch on, number 3, the demand. At this point, no one has anything to say about him making a demand. Ray, who finds this all a bit funny, discreetly gestures to the man who had attempted to pull knives before, but they both firmly note that they are done for the night. I require. You know, actually, no, I do actually want. Just want. Yeah, I guess I don't. Yeah, no, but I will be requiring 1 city block. What? The Irish representative falters. That's what 20 blocks here. You want 1. Yes, 1. Nice one though. See, I don't really have need of warehouses and docks and stuff. So see, all my wealth was accumulated legally. So not just from apparently murdering bikers. The Irishman asks again. Yeah, no, they didn't actually have a bunch of cash. Plenty of meth. I don't know. I didn't taste it. You know. You murder 40 people? The Japanese man begins. The Chinese representative has just been glaring at all the other bosses. Alright, technically that was self-defense, I want to point out. Technically, they just shot one another. In fact, I don't actually know if I broke any laws. Technically. The gravelly-voiced man scoffs. I'm sure all their guns just went off without warning then? I mean, pretty much, yeah. The man shrugs. The gravelly-voiced man chortles to himself as the majority of people in the room just take another step further away from the mysterious man. Okay, the Japanese man continues. You defend yourself against these men. You allow the police to take all of the drugs and the money from the building. You rescue 2 women. two women they had abducted off the street to be sold, but neither of these women see your face. Actually, they did. I just asked them not to tell anyone. He grins. I do wish I gotten there sooner, though. They had already. Anyway, they're doing much better now. Um, did I have a drink bottle anywhere? I thought I. Oh, it's just here. There you are, boss. Ah, thank you. Yeah. Did you have a point there, sir? And you call us here to give us land. Even if you want something in return, there must be some kind of catch. Yes. Yeah. There's a catch. Absolutely. It's not a big catch. It's not even, I think you'll all be fine with the catch. What do you think, Ray? Seems fair. It almost seems generous, boss. You know, unless you're the bikers. Well, yes, of course, unless you're the bikers in the situation. No one wants to be the bikers in the situation. Naturally. He takes a few sips from his bottled water. See, I want a block of land, a whole block. So I gathered you all here today to trade. If you like the Iron Devil for one block. Unfortunately, I'm new to the area and I don't really know I don't really know a thing about New York, really. So I'm going to give you 1 hour. 1 hour to decide who gets what part of the Harpies' territory. I thought, given the circumstances, that you might need to reorganize your own boundaries and such, make a few deals as far as that goes. So feel free to make any phone calls you want. This block that you want, the previously hostile man speaks up. What's it for? Casino, the blind man responds. Ahem. Big one, flashing lights, cha-ching sounds, low stakes over here, high stakes over there, cocktail bars, function rooms, couple of nice restaurants maybe. Big thick walls too, sub-basements, big old vault, Scrooge McDucky sort of a thing, Maybe a herb garden. I mean, I've got the money, I just kind of need your cooperation at this point. What you ask is, the Japanese man begins, in exchange for this much land, there must be more to what you ask. Yeah, no, I suppose there is. But that is really the main thing. I mean, yeah. And the rest? Well, the rest is that I not only want my land to be in a nice place or, nice enough that you can kind of gentrify it. My casino will be a safe place, alright. I mean that quite literally, in fact. Weapons, as tonight, shall not even function while inside, and, since we've established that holdouts aren't a problem, I'm sure you'll take my word for that. And you're all welcome, by the way. I'm assuming you're all cordial and that to set up any meetings between all you guys if you need to. Boss. Right. Yes. However, he raises his voice in a dramatic tone that no one would normally take seriously. The entire block. Nah, I can't keep that. Can't keep my straight face. The entire block will be completely free of crime, okay? There will be no drug dealers nor prostitutes on the corners. There will be no assholes mugging tourists in the area, no thugs on the street, no violence or illegal activities of any kind. And that, my good fellows, will be your problem. You want us to keep your block clean for you? Immaculately, yes. And I guess if we don't do that, the Italian picks up one of the more graphic crime scene photographs. Then we end up as the bikers in the situation. Got it. The Irish finishes the situation for him. Also, in return for your help in that particular matter, my casino will of course be neutral ground, as I mentioned. Feel free to organize any meetings or anything like that take advantage of a completely safe space. I feel like that would be useful to you guys. Just it'll be fine. That would be quite useful, now that I think about it. The gravelly voiced man notes. Excellent, lovely. Well, if you all want to take your time, there are plenty of cookies left. The mini fridge has where's the mini fridge? Is it over there? Okay. The mini fridge over there has beers. I'm not sure if any of you yeah, I'm actually more of a cider man myself, yeah. But yeah, take your time. I shall retire to the office while you make arrangements, and yeah. The blind man smiles happily, tapping his cane thrice on the ground, and turning to a makeshift warehouse office. Good luck. I didn't really think this part through, did I? The blind man paces restlessly, now halfway through the hour period that he gave them to decide. You never tell us your name. The Japanese man joins the blind man in a small, long since disused office of the formal Devil warehouse in which the meeting is taking place. Yeah, yeah, I haven't actually decided on an alias yet. Once the casino is complete, it won't really matter what I call myself, but until then, just call me whatever you want. Hmm. The man considers this for a moment. My uncle has agreed to your terms. However, he asks, what are these bigger fish you speak of? Ha! The bigger fish. Bigger fish. Bigger than a bunch of crime bosses. uh, yeah, nah, sorry, I can't tell you something like that. I mean, if they found out I'm still alive before, well, the cycle will never stop. Let's leave it there. The cycle? Come on, man. I thought you guys had some nasty punishment for people asking too many. That's kind of racist. Oh, sorry. It not pretend I didn't say that. That was nasty of me. Sorry. Nice knife, by the way. The blind man draws forth a small, ornate blade in an ornate scabbard. None. The Japanese man grasps at his belt, searching for the blade that had been there only a moment ago. It's good steel, the blind man says, laying the scabbard to one side. It's not an antique, but it you know, made using classical forging methods. I can feel the clay tempered pattern there. I'm sure it's aesthetically, quite lovely. The Japanese man's jaw quivers. To be simultaneously clear and yet a bit vague, I guess. The bigger fish cannot be gutted with blades such as these. Ah! Ah! The man stumbles backwards, crashing into the office wall. You want to think very, very hard before telling anyone what you've seen here tonight, the blind man warns. The tip of the blade hangs in the air not an inch from the man's throat, yet the blind man still leans at the far end of the room. Your international crime families with your swords and your guns and your pride are but children playing with sticks to the bigger fish. The short blade withdraws, held aloft by some invisible force, joined mid-air by the lacquered wooden scabbard. The blade sheathes itself in the air and presents itself to the quivering man. However, in his terror the man can barely whimper, let alone accept it. It's all right. You're not the ones I'm going to be declaring war on, the blind man assures him, as the blade lowers itself into the quivering man's hands. War? Ha! Yeah! Forget I said that. Yeah, the human race isn't ready for this. Not yet. An indeterminate number of years earlier. Ah! The young man groans as the alarm on his mobile phone sounds, playing some techno bastardization of fur release that annoys him so much that he feels like punching the phone, which is, of course, precisely why he uses it as an alarm. Heaving himself out of bed, he sits for a moment, allowing his sheer hate of the ringtone to completely rouse him from any sense of comfort that might incline him to continue sleeping. Ah, he grumbles. Flies! Ah, flies. He swats about his face. Why are there so many flies? He sighs. Whatever. He struggles to his feet, grumbling at the sound of the ringtone he apparently is not in that much of a hurry to turn off. Shuffling like the undead, he slides open the door to his bedroom. The small starter apartment in a shady corner of a lower middle class suburb of Hobart, Tasmania's capital city, has only 3 rooms, all separated by sliding doors with ineffectual latches. But it does have a bath shower combo which he spends a great deal of time in, mostly due to the fact that he doesn't have to pay extra money for the electricity use. He keeps the apartment immaculately clean, which seems to surprise any guests. He has turned all of his bedroom walls into epic battle scenes composed of origami characters, knights, samurai, dragons. All kinds of mythical creatures and characters appear on the walls or even hung from fishing line and fastened to the ceiling with hooks. Compared to his bedroom, the main room, having a modest kitchen and living area, is almost minimalistic. There is no art on the walls, which are themselves simply white. A long-lasting, stain-resistant variety of paint, no doubt very popular with landlords. He has 2 long lounges, one relatively nice for guests, and the other that is only comfortable should one contort themselves in a very precise manner around several broken springs and worn upholstery. Wait. He snatches up his phone, turning off the alarm. God damn, I don't even have work today! Ah. He groans, turns in place, and groans again. Whatever. An apple lifts from the large fruit bowl and darts into his hand. Might as well go fishing. Oh, hello. The man looks up from his incredibly tangled hand reel for a moment. Ooh, jellyfish. Jellyfishes? No, same kind. Fish. One fish, 2 fish, several different kinds of fishes. Something sounds wrong about that. Don't see many jellyfish on the beach as you used to, he murmurs to himself, attempting to untangle the fishing line. The times they are indeed a-changing. He begins singing quietly to himself in the gentle breeze as it flows over the rocky point between Belle Reve and Howrah beaches. It's not a particularly magical spot, though the bright sandstone has, over many years, formed into rather impressive structures, and does have lovely panoramic views of the mighty Derwent River. It's just another of many little rocky outcrops that you find between beaches. This one has recently, due to a little sheltered cave in the sandstone, just large enough for a medium-sized tent, become a hotspot for teenagers in the surrounding area to come down, often during school hours, and smoke illicit substances. None of whom apparently think that doing this when one is on a rocky beach with little in the way of walking room might be a bad idea. Wonder if you can eat jellyfish, the man ponders. Get the feeling that wouldn't be super good for you. He returns to his singing as he continues to wrangle the fishing line. You know what, fuck it. He snatches up a heavy, rather impractical, somewhat serrated knife that his brother had given him back when said brother was into making knives out of steel he found under the house. He slices off the problematic knot at 2 points. Not that expensive anyway. He salvages as much of the line as he can, concluding that he can probably just use it to hang up some origami later. He is left with 2 additional short lengths of line. He measures each one out. 3 long, heavy-duty leather-working needles float lackadaisically out of his tackle box. One by one, a length of fishing line joins each needle and ties itself off with an improved clinch knot, the only knot he bothered learning for fishing in the first place. He casts out the 2 short lengths of line, tipped each with a large needle. Needles first, they flourish about in the air, dancing in the orange light like ribbons, then dive into the water. What's out there for me today? He asks. Besides jellies. I ain't got no time for jellies. He prepares his hand reel. Beneath the water, the 2 needles tear through the water, trailing their near-invisible tails behind them. The 2 needles reach a small group of rather large jellyfish and dance around the creatures for a while. All females. Huh. Didn't know they grouped up like that. Go figure. The needles break away from their balletic performance around the Nidarians and proceed further into the river. Wonder what's out there. I was going to make stock, wasn't I? Cod's good for stock. Make some soup. Soup. Salmon, though. I do like salmon. Not so good for stock, still, though. You know, salmon. Good. Oh, hello. having been staring blankly into the distance, suddenly sits up. There's a fishy. Hello, fishy fishy. He grins. Not sure what kind of... Not a flathead, but, can't really... Oh well. He tosses the final needle out into the water. The fishing line around his reel loosens itself on its own and flies off after it. Well, that's one. Pretty sure it's a cod. I hope I find a salmon, though. The hand reel stops letting out line and the man begins humming to himself as he lackadaisically begins withdrawing the line. His phone whistles out its little default text received ringtone. Ah, he continues to reel in his line. Left my glasses, didn't I? Bugger. He continues withdrawing his line. His phone, a rather old model of a smartphone, pushes itself out of his pocket and hovers up to his face. It floats back a little bit from his face and then closer again. Yeah, nah. He concedes and unlocks the phone instead and calls the sender. Hey girl, what's up? He asks once the phone is floated up and settles on his shoulder. Yeah, girl, nah, sorry, I left them in the car. What was the text about? Yeah, no, alright, first of all, out of context, that sounds a little... Anyway, yeah, all good. Come and pick you up... What? Oh shit, really? Dude, what a douchebag. Pretty sure you can... Pretty sure you can't do that with like a week's notice or whatever. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, extra shift, extra money, no, yeah, absolutely, fair enough. So like, what, 8 then? Yeah? Well, tell him to piss off then. He's only your boss. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah. You can't do that, don't do that, yeah. Yeah, no, put me onto him, totally. I'll give him a... Yeah, no, just say I had a call, yeah. He waits for a moment, wedging his phone between his face and his shoulder and going back to reeling in his line. Yeah, hey man, yeah, sorry, I left my glasses in the car. I didn't think I'd need them. Nah, man. Yeah, no, I know. I need to get one of those talking phones, totally. Yeah. No, they're actually super hard to get a hold of, actually, or at least get them sent here. Yeah. Yeah, no, she probably only picked up because it was me. Yeah. Yeah, this is Carmine. Who's this? Maddie. Shh. No kidding. Yeah, no, yeah. Wait. I thought. Wait, weren't you working at the bar? Yeah, no. No, I don't. No, you didn't you work for a few months? How does everyone not know that by now? I mean, it's the one. Yeah, in town. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just yeah, it's public schooling for you. Yeah. So now we're just chatting away. Yeah, no, totally. And I was just confirming with Tess. We're going to the casino tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's basically just a bribe so she doesn't tell my ex that I gamble. Yeah, no. No, she doesn't gamble. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, about 400 up, I guess, if I include drinks, which but I usually lose. Yeah. Don't suppose you'd consider letting her a little early out tomorrow? Yeah? Nah? Oh well, worth a try. Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, with the amount of tourists around the past few weeks. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Worth a go, though. Yeah. Carmine scoffs as Matty hands the phone back. Well, I gave it a go. Yeah, no, what a dickhead, eh? Yeah, right. Yeah, just happened to conveniently forget all the times that he and his buddies, publicly humiliated me in school for no reason. Oh, please, you were probably boning the footy captain in the bathrooms or something. Oh, right, girls' school. Right, okay. I want to say field hockey captain then? Right, okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I'll pick you up at what? 8:30? Alright, okay. See you go. See ya. He fumbles around for a moment trying to disengage the call, the touchscreen buttons not seeming to want to work for him. The phone replaces itself in his pocket as the fish finally draws into view. It is long since dead already, and just barely skims above the riverbed as it is drawn towards Carmine, who hums to himself peacefully. Here we go. You look like... Trevally? The fish finally reaches the rocky outcrop. He gives a firm tug on the line and the fish is flung up onto the rocks, gliding through the air significantly further than one might think. Haven't had Trevally in a while. What do I do with Trevally again? He asked rhetorically, retrieving the fish and retaking his seat. Yeah. Nothing quite like dead fish in the morning, he says, untying the fishing line. The two leather-working needles had forced their way straight through the flank of the silvery fish and tied themselves off into two loops, each then threaded and tied off by the third needle to be drawn in. The blood drips from a narrow puncture wound in the fish's forehead where the initial strike of a needle had executed it. Sorry, fishy. At least it was quick though, right? Straightening out his lines again, he rests the reel and tailed needles aside. He never bothers fetching the knife that his brother gave him. Instead, he runs his right index finger along the belly of the fish, whose flesh parts at his touch as though slit by a razor. Slit up to the gills, the fish's innards are jerked outwards and toss themselves far out into the water. Once gutted, Carmine tosses the fish into the esky, which closes with a satisfying clack. "Let's find me a salmon," he begins, humming to himself once more, preparing the needles and line to be tossed into the water. He stands abruptly. The needles clatter onto the rocks. He strains his eyes, staring into a middle distance that he cannot make out with his clouding eyes. He stares into the distance for several moments. The two threaded needles rise, just shy of his hand instinctively. Several moments pass. Birds caw in the distance. Water laps upon the shore. He goes to sit, but stops. He takes a step to one side, and back again. He sits slowly. He silently ponders, then says, "It's following me." "I can't believe you brought me here," Tess pouts. "I really don't see how this is any worse than you spending, hundreds of dollars, I'm going to assume, every month on, little blue dresses that are pretty much identical to every other little blue dress you have." "Oh, do you have a problem with my little blue dress?" No, shit, no. No, this one in fact yeah. He spends a moment or so longer than he should, gazing at his companion's outfit. It's alright, I guess. You're impossible. You look gorgeous, girl. Now, lighten up. I'm the one shouting you for cocktails. Yeah, only so I don't tell Kay. Yeah, no, seriously don't. She'd never talk to me again. He taps nervously at the bar. Or if she did, it'll be all veiled, judgy Bible stuff. Come on, she wouldn't. Yeah, she would. She honestly tried to convince me to do like a deathbed confession, like the last time I saw her. Whatever. What you want? Well, since you're buying, she taps her chin. Margarita, she nods to the barman. Old fashioned. No cherry though. Never really liked them. I'll have the cherry. Alright, yeah. Take it back then. Cherry away, my man. He scoffs as the barman gets to work. I swear I know that dude. Why does everyone I know work here? He mutters to himself. And buying clothes isn't like gambling. I don't just toss the money away. Well, no, see, that's where I disagree with you, because every fortnight I come here with $300 for games, and, I don't know, 50 for drinks, depends on my mood. So you waste $300. Last time I made $600. I'm sorry? Look, and this is exactly what everyone in every movie has ever said, but I do have a system, he says, and finds himself rolling his own eyes at his own words. Can't believe I just said that. That's almost as bad as the obligatory whispering of, "I can count cards," he scolds himself for his own words. Look, so I get 300 in chips, play roulette. If I run out of money, I leave. If I make some money, anything over that initial $300, I cash it in, just immediately. Or I put it aside. So I'm only ever working with that $300. That way, if I end up losing, I only ever lose $300. Huh. Tess slurps at her margarita. "Oh, that's good," she heartily approves, to which the bartender pretends not to be smiling at. "But 600, you can't seriously..." "Yeah, no, absolutely, I lose more often than I win, but, most of the time I go home 100 or so down, but according to this here..." He pulls out a little red notebook he got from some supermarket out of his breast pocket. "On the whole, according to my records, including drink expenditure, I'm actually up about 800, ish. And you're hooked up with a countess," the barman adds. "I'm sorry, what?" Yeah, oh my god, man, shit. Wait, Chris. It's Chris, right? Yeah, man. Did you you forgot, didn't you? We caught up for like an hour and a half before you two got all competitive at the tables and ended up wasted. Shit. Yeah, nah, man. I barely remember a thing about the whole deal. Well, nice to re-meet you, I guess. He shakes the man's hand. Chris here was I want to say D. Yeah, class D. Yeah. Yeah, we had gym and shit together, didn't we? Well, nice to re-meet you, sir. Nice to re-meet you too. Wait, you slept with a countess? Tess begs for clarification. Wait, how old was she? I don't know, 40 or something? I don't know. Widower, apparently. She was the one with the title, though, so she's still technically a countess. Aw, thought you might have pissed off a count or something. Would have been more fun. Wait. You slept with a 40-year-old. Oh my god. She was actually lovely. Yeah. We were all noisy at the tables and stuff, but we just sat and chatted up in a room. It was nice, you know. Weird to see things from that kind of perspective. So the story is apparently she was, engaged to her late husband since she was a kid, right? And like she did love him, but then they kind of fell out of love, and so he died like 2 years ago from like some kidney-ish thing, and she's been dealing with these really like conflicted feelings ever since. It's kind of an intense story, really. So you're a Swedish Royals rebound hookup, eh? First of all, shouldn't you be pouring drinks? Also, yes. He takes as large a swig from his old fashioned as he can manage with the amount of ice in the glass. This is good scotch. Also, I think she was Swiss? Wait, no, she gave me a number actually. Yeah, a 4-6 area code, if that means anything. What, so just in case you're ever in Sweden? Tess scoffs. Apparently, yeah. Anyway, that was the one night that I didn't stick to my $300 limit thing, which I regretted in the end because I lost more than well, I'm not going to tell you because you'll tell my ex. Hey man, you can't put a price on good. Don't you dare say that. Come on. You're the only ones in earshot and you can't hear crap in this place. The bartender scoffs. He isn't wrong. The sounds of the poker machines next door are overwhelming. For some reason, someone decided that they should keep making noise even when no one's playing them. There actually aren't that many people here tonight, or not yet anyway. Not that anyone's here to hear it anyway. I swear, less and less of people are being gambling these days. Closer to the federal election. Of course, now that that's over, yeah, we should be seeing some more people soon. Of course, it's pissing down outside, so that ain't helping. Carmine agrees. Do you always talk to your customers like this? Tess asks. Half the people here that come in are too full of themselves to actually talk to a bartender. And the other half? Well, they're poor, so managers don't care what I say to them. I kind of like that, Carmine scoffs, gazing out over the tables. Alright, so, Casino 101. High stakes stuff goes on over here. People that go over there tend to have a very distinct type of laugh, I find. Do not go near the slot machines. They're just don't. Freaky back there. Okay, she says with a raised eyebrow. He's right, it's weird in there, the bartender notes. It's getting pretty weird right here. Tess rolls her eyes. Yeah, thanks, babe. Anyway, look, so poker machines, bad. Just do not. Poker, also bad. Just no. Blackjack tables, I mean, they're not that bad. Craps, fair. But I pretty much exclusively play roulette. And speaking of, I need my fix. So let's go. The casino, like all businesses, is designed for a purpose, which, in this case, is making money. One might think, but wait, isn't that what every business does? And of course, yeah, you would be right. However, a casino has such a strange, one might think, counterintuitive way of doing things. A casino makes its money by risking its own money in what are now largely referred to as casino games. Of course, we all know that. But how exactly does the casino go about relieving us of all our money? Well, the most obvious way is the house cut, creating games in a manner by which they're always rigged a certain amount. This amount, of course, varies from game to game and often casino by casino. But by having a game rigged a set amount, the basic mathematics of probability dictate that the house will gradually make money. For every dollar spent in a casino, on average, the house will win a slight proportion of this dollar. Many people have terrible opinions of casinos and would not be surprised if the house cut were very, very high. But with most casino games, they are in fact lower than most expect. However, while it's true that you might win in the short term, the longer one plays, the more one will end up losing, statistically speaking. In the end, the house always wins. That means that the name of the game, effectively, is getting people to keep on playing. After all, if they can win in the short term, one only needs to keep them around for the long term. With this simple fact in mind, you can guess how interior designers might go about solving this issue. The gaming floor is bathed with soft, welcoming lights, reds, oranges, wooden finishes. There are no windows, not a touch of natural light on any of the gaming floors, and not a clock in sight. One loses their sense of time here. One whittles away hours here without any sense of the outside. The flashing lights, the sounds, the clacking of the roulette ball on the wheel, the roll of the dice, the surprisingly distinct sound of cards being shuffled become comforting. Add in some designer cocktails and every variety of restaurant, buffets, and even vending machines if you know where to look, and there's really no good reason to ever leave. And that's how you end up losing your mortgage to these arse-hats. I scoff. Seriously, why do you come here then? Because I like it here? I scoff. I know that's just me, falling for the various wiles they employ for this. But, I am still a couple of hundred up, and, that's a couple of hundred that I've straight up taken from, these fucking casino people. So, I don't know, it's just weirdly so much more satisfying. So, what is Baccarat anyway? Tess asks as we stroll past some tables. I actually have no idea. I thought about learning, but I was like, nah. Anyway, blackjack has better payout odds, so why bother? I really only play roulette, occasionally blackjack, but I'm only if something interesting is going on. By interesting, do you mean short skirts? Says she with a tiny dress herself. So, we lean against the currently vacant, save for the operator, roulette table. I know you've been waiting for this. Why only roulette? Well, it's the fairest, I state, placing my 300 chips in tens down on the table. That's it. The operator, Mac, nods slightly. She eyes me suspiciously. Oh, come on, I know that there's some big stupid speech you've got for this, she conjectures. Correctly. Yeah, no, I totally do. Unless Mac wants to do it herself. It's Jennifer, actually. So basically, out of all the games that I know of, at least, roulette has high payout odds and is practically impossible to rig. I take a deep breath. Here we go. See, besides the drinks and the food and the hotel rooms and the function rooms and... So the casino already has a fuck ton of ways to make money. But the main way is that every game has a house edge, being probability-wise, every $100 you play, you're going to get so much money back. The odds for roulette are 97, so every 100 you play, you get about 97 back. Literally, like if you put, $100 around the table and you spread it out evenly, you'll lose 3 every round, and that's statistically something you can't get around. I take a long sip of old-fashioned. That's fine, I mean, that's it there. I point to the green zero slice on the wheel and the green tile on the table. That's the house edge. They even color-coded it for us. Now, blackjack, a few other games have better odds. Blackjack is what, like 1%? Yes, the odds of blackjack can range from around 2% to as little as 1, depending on the number of decks. Mac rattles off with a slight smile. The croupiers here all wear a standard, well-maintained white iron shirts and classic waistcoats. From earlier conversations with other employees, it seems that particularly female croupiers are encouraged to wear only basic makeup and engage with patrons only as required, in a weird sort of effort to make them seem more servile, I guess. Apparently that helps people give away their money. Here we use 6 decks at all of our tables and reshuffle frequently to keep the games as fair as possible. Yeah, same level of unfairness at least, I note. Mac gives a little no comment tip of the head. But blackjack really is the least unfair one, assuming that you already know how to play the games perfectly. Whoa, wait. If that's fairest, like, whatever the best odds, don't pretend you haven't already memorized exactly how to play it perfectly. She isn't wrong. Then why don't you, you know, well, two reasons. One, the decks could be stacked. I shrug. So does Mac. Two, I point to my eyes. Oh shit! Right, yeah. Totally. Right, yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, no, chill. It's just I can't focus on the cards for too long. My eyes start to hurt. Can't. I can't really read for more than an hour and a half these days. It freaking sucks. That's actually tragic. Tess pulls on my sleeve like she does when she tries to show genuine concern. Yeah, but I got a new Kindle that has like super big letters, and failing that, I listen to Stephen Fry doing the voice for Professor McGonagall, and then just suddenly can't take any of it seriously. Oh, whatever. Tess stops tugging sweetly and instead shoves me with all of her really practically negligible weight. She knows better than to feel sorry for me anyway. Anywho, so for all games, roulette is the hardest to predict or rig, and you can stack a deck or load the dice, but there's a big green zero there. You know where you stand. Pretty much every other game can be rigged. This one can't. Not that I think the casino would. It's fine. Mac doesn't mind my slight paranoia. I guess I'm just saying I like the game. Sight reasons, blah blah blah. Call me paranoid. I just feel a bit safer knowing that no one can scam me. That's right, Mac agrees. It used to be that people would try and predict the outcome based on where the ball enters. But now all we do is just release the ball after all the betting is finished. Also, apparently roulette tables used to have really deep pockets. An old table, they would get damaged or worn, but now we actually swap out the tables every 3 years. It's actually very, very fair. Thank you, Jesse. The guy here last time didn't know shit about this stuff. Was his name Mac too? Mac asked. No. His name was Michael, but I call him Jerry. Anyway, now to business. Tess, have a chip. Put it somewhere. I hand the young lady a $10 chip, which she just stares at for a moment. Come on, it's not that scary. Also, it's my money, so what do you care? That doesn't matter. Actually, no, that's a very good point. So where should I put it? I don't know. Wherever you want. I shrug. So just, statistically speaking, in the long term, you'll make or lose exactly the same amount. So no matter where you go. That's right. Max smiles. All right. So if I put it here, she places her bet down on the red tile. Right. So yeah. If it's red, you get $20 back. Tell you what. I'll put mine down on black. That way, one of us is getting $20. But what if it lands on green then? Right, yeah. So yeah, that's a house cut. There is only a 1 in 37 chance of that happening. But yeah, if it lands on the zero, then the house wins, and neither of us get $20. That's the other 36 chances are all ours. That's why I like roulette. There's no sneaky little complex stuff like with card games, or 90% payouts that no one tells us about. Yeah, but anyway, I'm on black, you're on red. There is a chance that we could lose, but roll away, Mac, my boy. It's Jennifer, and I'm a girl. The ball is released onto the wheel, and I find myself savouring the good old clacking noises it makes upon the wood. No more bets. Mac waves a hand over the table. Apparently people actually used to wait until the ball started slowing down to stop the betting, but they do it really early now. I guess it's really only tradition that they don't call off the betting before releasing in the first place. As the ball gradually slows, I start feeling a little bit tense. I don't know why. I know exactly what the outcome is going to be, but I still feel a certain amount of pressure. I wonder why that is. I guess it's the same when I donate blood and start feeling nervous. I know that it never actually bothers me. I mean, donating blood is actually surprisingly chill, but I still get scared. Brains are just weird, I guess. So, this is what you do all night then. Tess slurps at her margarita and judges me. Yeah, pretty much. And tell you what, if I end up losing my money tonight, you can do the whole I told you so song and dance. Deal? Oh, I will, she slurps smugly. And we have... Mac begins as the ball loses the bulk of its momentum. 9, red, odd. Ha! Tass practically cheers as Mac places the marker down on number 9. I mean, of course, it had to be one way or the other. She pretends not to be pleased. No big deal. Really. Wait, no, you don't. I stop Tess as she reaches down for her chip. No touchy, no touchy. I wait for Mac to retrieve my bet. Well, technically, yeah, you have one to one, hence you might as well just take both chips. It's tradition, and sensibly so that no one touches the layout while the marker is down. That way Mac can collect up all the losing bets, and you dispense fresh winnings without confusion. Oh yeah, I guess a bunch of people grabbing for everything would not be helpful. She admits as Mac passes her winnings. So if I put down on the end here, right? Yeah, those ones are columns, so 12 numbers each. So you'll only have 1 in 3 chance plus the house card, obviously. Anyway, but you'll get back 30 or triple instead of double. You might notice that there in the middle column there are actually only 4 red ones, and so what I like to do is I'll bet on the middle column as well as red. That way, because there are more red on the outside of the middle, even if it doesn't fall in the middle, you'll have a fair chance that it will be red, and you'll actually just not lose any money. Or alternately, you could go for black, and hopefully it'll land in the center column and black, and then you'll get 50 back on your bet instead of 20. And yeah, here's the thing. Like, I know that statistically speaking, there is literally no strategy that is any better than any other one, but I do like to kind of double up. I don't know, whatever. Cover the board, I think is the term. All right, Kami. First of all, way too much information for a Friday. Second, this margarita is actually really good. Yeah, can I have a bit? Yeah, all right. Here. All right. So I'll be on the back column and red. Tess places her chips down. That is good. Whenever I get one, they give me a boring glass like this one. Everything's better in a fancy glass, Kami. Everyone knows that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I agree, placing a $10 chip down on red and the center column. Roll away, Mac, my boy. Max sighs and releases the ball onto the wheel. I think she's a bit fed up with you. Everyone is. So you said the odds were about 3% for the house? Yep. So what are the odds for the poker machines? Oh, I immediately avert my gaze. It doesn't really matter, as long as everyone has fun, right? And that's 14 red, Max says in an even more monotone way than she has been. Aha! Yes! So I don't actually lose any money, right? Tess asks as Mac retrieves her losses. Nope, you lost 10 and won 10 back. I, on the other hand, win 30. That's my evil laugh. That's a terrible evil laugh. Yeah, I know. I take my winnings. And as planned, I am now $10 over my initial 300, so I'll be putting this chip here and cashing it later. So, wait, if I put like a chip down here on all but 2 tiles, well then you make, $10 every spin, but, there's a 2 in 37 chance that you end up losing, $350, so, I wouldn't really recommend it. I kind of hate that 37's a prime number too. Oh, it is too, Mac remarks. That sounds bad. Well, I mean, it's still the same odds as any other bet, but see, the trouble with that is you end up playing long term, and the longer being like the physically longer you play, the more probability draws you towards the average, and you end up losing. The aim is to hope that you do alright in the short term, and knowing when to call it quits. That said, tell you what, I hand Tess my surplus chip. I'm not worried about her losing money after all. I like to make bets that cover a lot of the board, so kind of overlap. So you might not end up with, come on, it's Friday, we've been over this. Yeah, nah, sorry babe. Alright, let me rephrase that. I recommend overlapping bets, like here and there. There at once. Was that so hard? Yes, yeah, it really, really was. Wait, you never said, wait, what? You never said how much the poker machines were. No. So about that, Mac, you want to take this one, right? Yeah, this is literally your job, right? I'd actually prefer not to, if it's all the same with you, sir. Smooth. Look, okay, so casinos are shit. Like, Mac, do you mind if I even? We have no policies on restricting the conversations taking place in the gaming lounge. Max says without making eye contact. However, I would personally prefer if you were to keep your voices down while discussing concepts of morality and stuff like that. Well said. All right. Okay. So, come on, make a bet first. I sigh. Tess lays a few chips down. All right. You know as well as I do that this entire floor is specifically designed to get stupid suckers to throw away all their money. It's almost no. It is. It is impressive. I mean, all this would be specifically designed by architects and designers and statisticians. The red lights, the music, the comfy seats, the weird sort of servile based outfits the croupiers wear to make you feel like you're somehow above everything. It's almost gloriously perverse, and it bloody well works. I mean, casinos make a freaking mint, and that's all right up to a point. It's like it's my choice to come here and throw away my money. Mac releases the ball. I think. Let's see. Tessa's bet is red, even first 12. I think 14 would be a fair compromise. It's my choice to come in here and throw away my money, basically. The only difference is I only let them have 300 at best. And even I'm really damn lucky that I'm not way in the red. Like, yeah, lucky. Totally. So, me knowing the odds of roulette being impossible to rig, I find it fair as far as it goes. I choose to gamble how I like, and I know that I'm being manipulated a little bit, but that's fine by me. Yeah, but you still won't play blackjack or anything. Well, no, because they might be stacking the decks and loading the die. No offense, Mac. I can only assure you that this establishment works exactly to the standards as required by the law and would never dare to compromise the integrity of the games. I cannot, however, make you believe me, Max says. Well, I'd rig the decks, I admit. Yeah, but you're a shyster, Tess points out. This is true, I admit. That doesn't mean everyone else is, Carmine, Tess scoffs. Also, should the establishment ever be found to be partaking in such illegal practices, it would open up fines and lawsuits of millions upon millions of dollars, and lose all the gambling licenses and likely open up the owners or investors to federal investigations, Max says plainly. Yeah, I'll remain paranoid, if that's alright. It's probably the only reason I'm still in the black. 14. Red. Even. Mac places the marker down. See, you've doubled my money, I guess. Huh. Not bad. Now, pokies, keep going. She jabs me in the ribs. Alright, so the odds for roulette are obvious, right? I mean, it's right there. The house cut is literally there in green. And the house can no more predict the outcome than I can. But, that's... Look, there's no chart you can look at for the poker machines. These guys aren't going to tell you the odds. What are the odds? Jesus. Well, like with this, there are different odds for a bunch of shit. Like, 3 cherries is, your common sort of, but 3 oranges is way rarer and stuff like that. But the actual payout only, statistically speaking, I take a quick glance around to make sure that the floor manager, Michael, who was only employed after Malia quit after constant harassment from jerk-off entitled douchebags, all but drove her insane. Nice kid too. I think she's going for a law degree now. Hope it works out for her. But the total payout isn't 97% or something like that, even with the jackpots. It's only about 90, if that. Wow, 90? Seriously? Tess looks to Mac for a clarification. No comment. Right? Yeah, but the trouble is, with this shit, it's the short term you might actually win something, but people don't play pokies in the short term. They only ever play it for the long term, just sitting there for hours, almost guaranteeing that they will essentially just not win. The entire room is boxed in from the outside. You can go and look. Don't look in there; it's scary. But there's no clocks or windows, or it's even worse in there. But then, if the odds are so bad, then why don't they just play blackjack or something instead? Don't look at me, girl. I feel weird even walking past that room. I suddenly feel dirty. Tess cringes. Yeah, no, I know. No offense, Mac, but if I could somehow telekinetically rig roulette, I would totally rig the shit out of this biz. Steal all the casino's money and not even feel bad about it. Word. Max smirks without thinking. I mean, she panics for a moment, then quickly glances around to see if anyone might have heard. Luckily, the place is way emptier than it usually is on a Friday night. It'll pick back up after the federal election, though. Everyone's just being a bit careful with their money right now. Yeah, no comment? Yeah, that. Nice one. When's your birthday, Mac? Sorry? When's your birthday, dude? Need something to go off. Hey, there's a blackjack table over there free. I might head over there for a while. Tess announces, having grown bored with roulette. Yeah, sure. The minimum's only $2.50 or something like that. I'll meet you over there in a minute. Now, come on. What's your birthday, dude? I ask again as Tess slinks away. 2nd of February? 2nd of the 2nd. 22 black. Let's go with that. 10 on black. Even second, third, first column, and let's say, what, 40 and 22? What do you reckon? I'm sure I have no opinion whatsoever, sir. Figured as much. Alright, roll away, my boy. Mac releases the ball. Every once in a while, someone asks why someone as cynical as I, someone who has such an obviously poor opinion of casinos, especially pokies, would be caught dead in a casino at all. I usually just tell them, good drinks, good company, and the occasional win at the tables explanation, and say that I barely spend any money day by day, and so, I have one vice, and it's better than narcotics. And that's all true, yeah, I kind of like it here. I mean, it's this interesting mix of entitled wankers, pretty young women hoping to hook up with said entitled wankers, people with too much money to waste, cynical arseats like me just playing the odds, and everything in between. The culture in this room is so utterly different from everywhere else in Tasmania. Being a gallery shop owner, I can tell you right now that it is absolutely impossible to get a Tasmanian to let go of a single dollar that they don't absolutely need to. But here, it's the exact opposite. It's all so un-Tasmanian. Huh. I think, I think that's why I like it, because of the contrast, yeah. I think I figured that one out. But there is one other reason I come here, distasteful as it may be. To 22. Mac hesitates, aghast. Say what now? I ask, attempting to get some of the scum out of the edge of my glasses. It's hard enough having shitty eyesight as I do, but without somehow, God knows how, getting all this gunk inside the inside of my lenses. I mean, sure, it was understandable when I had, eyebrow dandruff last year or whatever, but come on. 22, she repeats. Black. Even. She takes a moment to herself before she places the marker down. Wait, really? I wasn't even paying... Shit, let me just... I give up on getting my glasses perfect and take a look. Huh. Well, there you go. She's right. There's a ball sitting right there in the 22 slot. How much even is that? Well, I do believe, Max scribbles down in a little notepad, here is your $1,460. Huh. I stare at the actually rather small pile of chips. That doesn't look like a lot of chips, I say on instincts, my eyes still adjusting. Yes, but that one's 1,000, though. I don't get to dispense those very often. Mac is rather impressed. Really? I've seen people here, working at really high stakes, though. Yeah, usually they get Mark or Haley on the table if it's higher stakes. I'm still pretty new here. Lame. Oh, and I can't give you a tip, can I? 'Cause, I totally would. Alas not. Max seems to be loosening up a bit, but, the pay isn't bad as long as you can put up with, I'm sorry, I really shouldn't be talking to a client like this. No, don't worry about it. Everyone basically just starts blurting out their plans to me and stuff when I'm around. It's one of my superpowers, I guess. The other one, apparently, being that the nature of the universe conspires to bring me good fortune. I closely examine the $1,000 chip, as though it's the first one I've ever seen. Lucky. I'm lucky, I scoff. That's what people mean when they say they're lucky, as though the fundamental, essential laws of the universe bend to their favor. Most people I meet here don't have such a poor opinion of luck. Or such sheer dumb luck, on that note. Well, in the meantime, I'd like to cash most of these, lest I foolishly lose them later. See you around, Mac. Come on. Why don't you grab an extra bottle? Hey, babe. I approach Tess and her new friend from behind. It looks like he's just some standard drunk wanker trying to hook up, which is fine, that's how it goes, even here. Who's your friend? I put my arm around her like a lover might. Oh, um, I was just. The guy instantly recoils. $20 says Tess has been completely ignoring him up till now. Oh, hey, babe, did you win anything? She plays along. After she broke up with her ex of 3 years, she's been particularly cold to anyone that tries to pick her up. Nah, not a lot, girl. Plenty for a few rounds, though. Were you going to join? I go ahead and ask the guy. Uh, nah, no, man. I was just waiting for a friend to get back from our room, so, nice to meet you guys. Yeah? See ya. He bumbles on for a bit before quickly making his escape with a defeated look. Tess and I wait as he retreats back over towards the bar. Ha! Oh my god, that worked so much better than I thought it would. I remove my arm from around her back. Now my arm's cold. Lame. Why can't they just get the hint when I, actively ignore them? She sighs. Yeah, no, see, that's. Guys just think you're playing hard to get or something. I don't know. But, if you're with another guy, then you're there. Look, I don't want to say property or something. I know, she says with disgust. I don't think they do it on purpose. Or at least I don't. Also, what's with dudes with 3/4 pants hitting on you? Seriously. I don't know. Last week I was at the Law Barrel, right? And this same guy that tried to buy me a drink like the last 3 uni things I went to, tried again. I don't even think he remembered me. Was it that guy with the shaved head and then the dreadlocks, carries a guitar everywhere? Yes. Oh my god, I can't believe people fall for that kind of. You did fall for that shit. Don't remind me. Dude looks like a pineapple. What? Oh my god. Oh my god, he does, doesn't he? How did I never notice that? The question is, did he walk into hipsters discount barbers with pineapple in mind, or did that just happen? See, now next time he tries something, I'm just going to start laughing uncontrollably. It's going to be super weird. I don't know. Maybe you should. I mean, it'll make a great story for the grandkids. The time Grandma hooked up with a pineapple. Make a great short story. So, did you actually win anything or not? Oh yeah, got a straight bet. 1,500, check it out. You're kidding. Nah, check it out, dude. I hand her the receipt for my chips. God damn. I don't. She hesitates. Alright, first of all, if you're thinking that maybe gambling isn't so bad, don't. That's exactly how they get you. I'm just lucky, I guess. Especially when it comes to Swedish royalty, the dealer notes. God, God, does everyone know about that? Pretty much, yeah. So gross. Alright, look, Dave, can you settle this for me? She was lovely, wasn't she? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Charming woman, to be sure. Also, it's Jeremy. What name did you give Jennifer? Oh, you mean Mac? She's new, right? Good company, that one. But she was twice your age. Tess seems incapable of letting my past hookups go. Yeah, and she still drank me under the table, which takes effort. Also, I can't resist anyone that can name more Pokemon than I can. Who knew that's what royals did with their time? Oh my god, if you start going on about your freaking psychic whatever again, I'm just gonna leave. She scolds me. Oh, okay, yeah. And how many marbles did you have in 4th grade? Don't you eat. She restrains herself before she literally punches me in the throat. Tess is a pretty small girl. Petite. The kind that hipster 3/4 pants wearing guys and pineapples seem to drool over. And yet somehow she manages to throw a super painful punch. But, she regains her composure, I no longer play with such childish things. She sips at her drink with a superior smirk. Alright, so I should just not like something because it's not considered an adult thing to do? That's fucking stupid. That's what all this hipster nonsense is. Everyone just pretending to be original and only taking part in the newest, most expensive coffees and shit. What people really should do is just find something they enjoy, something that makes them happy, and just do it. Who cares? Have the integrity to say, yes, I'm in my early to mid-20s, and yes, I collect beanie babies. I enjoy it, they make me happy, and they don't hurt anyone. Sounds good to me. Why are you so adverse to the idea of growing up? Because as far as I can tell, being an adult is boring as shit. I argue. I mean, seriously, here I am faced with either not getting a job with a joint art science degree or having to go back to freaking do a PhD for another fucking 3 years or something. I swear if like sex and alcohol weren't things, nobody would ever bother growing up. We just spend all day building pillow forts and playing Boggle. The dealer almost drops his chips as he is retrieving them from Tess. And playing Pokemon, Dave adds with a scoff. Yes, Dave's got my back. I'm having a good day. On that point, the way I figure it, it's Friday night. I've already made enough money to pay my rent for like the next 2 months. Neither of us have work till Monday, right? And as such, I lay down a second tray of 300 chips in front of Tess. Well, wait, what? Let's have you take that. I have my 300, and we take these. I hold up a small wad of $20 bills and get absolutely fucking wasted. Huh. Tess considers this. She looks at the chips, then back at me, and then at the money, and then back at the chips. You're just giving me $300? Let's say whatever you win, I deduct the 300 from it, and if we lose it all, then I guess that was just a bad investment on my part. Yeah, but you're just giving me $300 though. Don't think of it like that. Think of it as me making a bet on you. Besides, your rego is almost due, right? Oh yeah, no, that's right. I was gonna fix it up yesterday. What's it? Fine. She snatches the wad of bills from my hand and stuffs it firmly into her bra. Well, since you're paying for it all, I mean, might as well. As long as Kay doesn't find out anything. Okay, I won't tell her. Sheesh, I wasn't going to in the first place. She rolls her eyes. Besides, I'm the one gambling and accepting cash bribes now. Yeah, I'm a terrible influence. Now, what are you standing there for, Dave? Let's play some damn cards. Can you even see the cards? Isn't that why you only play roulette? Yeah, nah, it's fine. It's as long as I'm wearing the right pair of glasses and the cards are exactly 1 foot from my face, I scoff. Actually, if you could just make sure I'm getting the right numbers, yeah? Because you're only saying that because you want Kay and I to get back together. You were so good together, though. Yeah, we kind of weren't, though. What? You were perfect for one another. You were so cute. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say we weren't, like, whatever. But look, okay, here's the thing. So, like, I honestly don't have like a problem with Christians or anything, but the thing is, like, for example, she would never have had sex before marriage, and that's fine. I mean, if I was with her, that's fine. I'd wait. I'd do that for her. I mean, I disagree, but no, I think it's fundamentally dumb. But whatever. They probably don't even play Boggle. Dave scoffs. Right? After drink number 3, I might have gotten a bit louder. No, seriously, no one ever believes me when I say this, but it's true. I don't have a problem with belief, per se. I respect everyone's right to believe in what they want to, but that doesn't mean I have to respect the belief itself. I disagree. I fundamentally disagree. The whole concept of having physical relationships with a single person, I believe, is dumb. Just unwise, Because, okay, so here's my reasoning on that one. Here's this. Okay, so there are all these feelings, right, that come associated with sex, right? The lust, the desire, all that shit, that people can mistake for love. But those feelings themselves, they aren't exclusive to one person. And especially if it's the first time you're in a relationship, one can be, really vulnerable. And, it's important for someone to learn that the lust and stuff are part of love, but they aren't actually love itself. That's pretty profound, bro. Dave nods sagely. I wish you'd told me that a few years ago, Tess pines. I did, bitch! How much money do you think we wasted, from you messaging me at, 2 in the morning? Yeah, probably a lot. Okay, so, imagine that you married the first person you had physical relations with. Oh my god, don't even. Exactly! You'd never be able to tell, the difference between the physical side and, the emotional side. And particularly with how men tend to change, after they've gotten in a relationship. People run like this big, like a big risk of ending up stuck in a relationship where neither party has actually finished maturing. That's a good point, Dave agrees. The gaming floor hasn't gotten much busier, even on a Friday, though the weather outside has been lousy, so that could be it. But at this point, Dave is happy enough just to let Tess and I all but claim this table while we drink ourselves into a stupor. Could end up turning into people that just don't get along, he conjectures. I guess that's the problem with the whole Christian outlook on sex, though. Like, you wouldn't be able to change the marriage thing without changing the stigma on, sex. Yeah, nah, I don't want to change it. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to impose what I believe on anyone else. I just think that that is dumb, dangerous even. Changing it would be good, but yeah. Oh come on, look at me right now and tell me you don't wish that wasn't a rule. Tess accused me. Well, yeah, nah, yeah, no, but like no, because if okay, let's say that she called me up like right now and was like, "What's up? I've just given up on the whole faith thing. Want to hook up?" I mean, sure, yeah, that would be great, I guess, but then again, like her faith was what she believes in is a huge part of what makes her, you know, her. As stupid as I might think that aspects of that is, I would never want to take that away from her. That's super sweet. But I'm pretty sure you're lying. Tess rolls her eyes. Yeah, no, I probably am. Blackjack. Dealer 21, Dave announces. Boo! Boo! That'll teach me for betting more than $10, I sigh. Well, looks like drink number 4 is getting a bit low. Number 5? Totally. Tess drains the last of her, whatever it was, orange thing. Would you like some more booby cash? She fetches another few notes from within her bra. I would love some more booby cash. I would like, was there something about apple? Local appletini, Dave confirms. Local Granny Smith apples and New Norfolk cider, Richmond apple brandy, and apple vodka. They're really good. Alright, wanna finish off that one and then we'll head down to O or something, I propose? Oh yeah. Wait, no, I think Mary and those guys are gonna head down to 151 tonight. Wanna see what they're up to? That's the one with the bendy pool table, right? Don't make me play pool, Kami. Oh, come on. Playing pool when you can't stand up is the most fun time to play it. Whatever. Just get me a drink. And that's blackjack. Dealer 21. Again? Boo. Boo. Well, that's what you get for going out with a uni student during college. Oh my god, don't start with this again. Hey, look, well, you didn't listen the first 3,000 times, so I might as well tell you again. Tess and I have trotted on down to 151 or 363 or 636, whatever it's called. It's your standard hipster sort of establishment within a multi-story building that takes most of the second level, yet manages to have a weird sort of open courtyard sort of deal that's actually just this high-roofed area. But they've got so many indoor planters and wooden furniture that it feels like it's outside. Now that I think about it, the lease on this place must cost a ton. There's a well-stocked bar, a pool room, a sprung dance floor, and even a DJ's platform. There's even a bunch of leather couches that Tess and I have rather kind of claimed. They're all old and falling apart, but the leather, or vinyl more likely, is really, really comfortable. Strange that I never see this place filled with lots of people. I'm clearly just not coming on the right nights. He was a nice guy, alright? Or he seemed like a nice guy. I don't know. No, alright. I will, to be fair, he did seem like a nice guy, yeah, but okay, so you remember what happened with Mark and what's her name? Carrie? Yeah. So they were fine for a while, but then like he gets into his head that because she's like a total babe, that like and eventually he starts thinking that like he's entitled to sex with pretty girls, and then like bam, he turns into a total dickhead. Didn't he cheat on her like at a party they were at together? Yeah. Wow. Right? But like that happens a lot in relationships. People change. They start thinking they're entitled to stuff, you know? Is this all circling back to the whole religion thing from before? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. But all the trouble was that when Jones started taking you for granted, and he did, shush, you were in denial for like freaking ages about the fact that you were so miserable. I know, she sighs, shuffling over and laying her little head on my lap. We've already danced like idiots for a while and taken maybe a few more shooters than we needed to, so a nap does seem in order. Looking back, can't believe it. Yeah, hindsight's a bitch, eh? Here, I grab my jacket. Cover up your jump, girl. I lay my jacket over her waist so no one goes looking up her skirts. Don't want any hipsters getting excited, do we? I don't know. Do you feel like banging a pineapple? Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to eat Hawaiian pizza again, am I? She laments. Holy shit, I could totally go for some freaking pizza right now. We should go to the bakehouse. It's closed, dude. What? No, it's 24 hours, isn't it? No, I mean it's closed down, like closed, gone. What? Yeah, girl, it's closed down. No more, 2 o'clock pies and sausage rolls for us. That's just freaking tragic. I know, girl. I know. I stroke her blonde, bobbed little head. Pizza sounds good though. Yeah, if I weren't already really comfy. Yeah, well, you might want to rethink that in about 5, 4, I say as a small horde of wealthy young men and women, all pretending to be disenfranchised, brooding artisans or the like, shamble down towards our area. It's not wholly convincing, however. I remember seeing that young man's shoes on the top level of the men's department store for a fair portion of $1,000. Ugh, hipsters. Gross. Does that stupid hipster religion decree that they mustn't shower more than once a month? God damn, you're a bitch. I poke her on the nose. I honestly think you might be my perfect woman. Well, if you like that, just wait till I get started on the Liberal Party. Whoa. Hey now, no, none of that talk until we get back to my place, yeah? Oh, you sure it's fine for me to crash at yours? Oh, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Besides, this way I don't have to worry about you having to catch a taxi all the way out to your place in freaking middle of nowhere with some random driver. Yeah, that's why I always wear sharp heels, she scoffs. Holy fuck, I need some pizza. She sits up abruptly. Whoa. Yeah, you shouldn't move so fast, girl. Come on, let's go. You're gonna buy me one more shot, and then we're gonna get pizza. And get away from stanky hipsters. Hold on a sec. Tess, you got any more of my money, girl? Tess, one more tequila shot drunker, all but begins groping her own breasts to find any stray $20 bills. None left, she sighs, stumbling her way towards my apartment. Yeah, so she's not usually like that, just so you know. You got the paywave thing, yeah? I hate using this. I wave my wallet straight over the machine. I can see why people are paranoid about using those jammer cards and stuff. I should get one of those. Hurry up! It's freezing! Alright, first of all, it's not my fault you didn't bring a jacket. Cheers, man. Have a good night, or rest of the morning, or whatever. I send the cab driver off. Also, you already stole my jacket, so I don't know why you're complaining. My apartment is one of 4 identical little boxes on a particularly plain street corner in Moraine, a modest Eastern Shore suburb. You've got your keys, right? Tess asks. That'd be awkward. Yeah, starting to rain. Yeah, cool your tits, girl. I wait a moment for her to turn away from the door before moving the tumblers into place. No, I don't have my keys. Don't need them. Come on then, I'll stick the heater on. Finally, she sighs. Wow. Let me guess, you expected the place to be messier. Yeah. Jesus. Honestly, everyone says that. Everyone seems to think I'm some kind of total slob. It's kind of insulting. In fact, my apartment is extremely tidy. Thanks, Marie Kondo. All my bits and bobs are carefully stored away in a large shelving unit. My games and DVDs I've stored in a large CD-carrying case after I had a rather long argument with my mother. She pulled the whole "because it's my house" card on me, which is really petty. So anyway, that's basically when I moved out. It does save a hell of a lot of room, though. Honestly, most of the shelving is taken up by souvenirs or teapots. I drink a lot of tea. Other than that, there's my pretty standard TV setup, two couches, the comfortable one, and the one that's not very comfortable most of the time, but really, really comfortable as long as you kind of bend around the broken springs and everything. My little kitchen is far better stocked than most single apartments I know of. I have my little spice rack. I mostly cook Italian sauces and Japanese style stuff. Pizza once a week. That knife block my parents got for me as well. The knives that came with it were actually pretty shitty, but they're over in the bottom drawer over there. Seriously, it's like whoever made those had never used a knife before. The weighting is terrible. Anyway, I got a bunch of new knives from the tip shop instead. I really can't stand shitty knives. It's a pet peeve, I think is the term. I think I have a lot of pet peeves, mainly to do with stupid people. Come on, take a seat, drunky Brewster. Coffee? Schnapps, she cries and crashes down on the good couch. Oh god, no. Schnapps! Okay, first of all, I don't even have any schnapps. Schnapps. Right, I'm gonna just assume that you really like saying schnapps a lot, which, in fairness, the kettle flicks itself on. She can't see from this angle, assuming she can see at all. I yawn as the container of instant coffee opens itself up. I fetch a couple of mugs from the cabinet, and the milk from the fridge is a stream of brown, crumbs, I guess, of the instant coffee make their way to the mugs. The kettle finishes boiling as a stream of near-boiling water swims through the air, splitting into two and joins the coffee in the mugs. Milk? I ask, to which I only get a generally affirmative, if pleasantly feminine grunt. I go ahead and add the milk myself. No point being too lazy. There you go. She begrudgingly sits up and takes a few long sips. It's good to be home. I sigh. My feet are killing me. Where? Oh, there's my jacket. So, did you end up having a good night? Wasn't too bad, she admits, leaving her drink on the coffee table. Of course, she snuggles up to me. We could. She slips her dress down. Uh-oh. She takes my hand and presses it to her chest, then straight down under her dress. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I whip my hand away. Ha ha ha. Ooh. No. That happened very quickly. That is not a good idea. No? She sits up, taking the opportunity to slip her dress down around her waist. It's, definitely, it's either a terrible idea or a fantastic one, and I'm not quite sure on that yet, but I'll sure to let you know. Not sure. She snatches the mug from my hand and all but tosses it at the coffee table before leaping at and rather mounting me. I'm sure that this is all taking a lot longer than it seems to be, but my brain seems to be processing about 1/10 of its normal speed. Boobs. Boobies. That's all that's going on up there. She presses her lips to mine. Her lips are so soft, her skin so warm, drawing me in. Her arms wrap around my neck as her tongue, still hinted with liquor, searches my mouth. Well? The gears in my head finish grinding about. I have to say that was a pretty compelling argument. Yeah? She draws me in again. I take the time to savor it this time. I haven't had personal relations of this kind in a while now. Nor is she. She's excited, which is the understatement of the year, and she really doesn't want to let me go. I can tell this by the fact that there are a bunch of teeth marks on my neck now. Huh. Shit. What? Are you not? She reaches downwards. No, that's definitely working. She gives me a sinister smile that most men spend most of their lives dreaming about. Honestly, I don't think anyone would really think less of me for just going with it. However, I'm gonna kick myself for this in a minute. I kiss her, long and deep. I take one last moment to search her body with my hands. She is magnificent. She really is. Sorry, girl. I take her head in my hands, holding her still. What's wrong? She asks as I stare her right in the eye. Ah, she quivers, which, if I'm being perfectly honest, feels pretty okay. Why? She rocks about a little. Her eyes glass over, and a moment later she falls completely unconscious. I lower her down gently, limp, more than half naked, and pretty damn stunning in the half light produced from the one down light in the kitchen that still works. God damn it. Fun fact, humans do have an off switch. It's just really hard to get at. I take a deep breath and let out a long sigh. My apartment is filled with a scent of pretty girl and fruity chapstick. I do wish my apartment could smell like pretty girl more often. Alas, I rise slowly, mournfully. I stretch out my shoulders, still a bit sore from fishing. I summon my glasses from my coat as I yawn. They settle on my face, but never in quite the right way, so I adjust them by hand. I gaze down upon Tess. There she is, radiant in the half-light. All the right curves, all the right places. I brush the back of my fingers over her cheek. Soft, warm, drunk. Really, very drunk. Where at any other time, and there it is again. That strange feeling. I find myself facing the corner of my living room. There's something there. No, 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 no. Not the corner. Something beyond. Something forbidding. It's been following me, this feeling. Were I not a skeptical sort, I might accuse this strange feeling to be following me. However, being a skeptical sort, I know that feelings cannot follow a person. He says, after rendering a pretty girl unconscious with his mind, yes, perhaps I, of all people, should not be speaking of impossibilities. I spin around on the spot. No? It's still right there. Pointing... Wait, the river goes... Okay, pointing southeast? When I was fishing, it would have been northwest. Yeah, inland of the river. All right. What does my skepticism tell me? I'm going cray-cray. Yep, fantastic. If there's one person you really don't want to lose his mind, it's me. Surely none could be so dangerous. I stare at my left hand. I'm not sure why I stare at my left hand. Perhaps it's too many drama classes. Alright, let's get you to bed then. I toss my glasses towards the door, where they settle onto their place on the shelf. I check her pulse, which is perfectly steady, resting. We were just making out a minute ago. That's kind of insulting. My method of rendering a person unconscious doesn't have any negative side effects, and they can be woken up a moment after. So it really is just like putting them to sleep, but I try and do it as infrequently as possible. Of course, there was that one story about a man beating his wife before falling mysteriously unconscious, allowing her to call the cops, but that was an exception. I made sure that he didn't wake up until the cuffs were on. I'm not sorry, but other than that, I hate to use it. A rather dishevelled, feminine form emerges from my bedroom. Morning, Muller. I begin, but hush myself as Tess raises a hand. Did we... did... Nah. Though, not for lack of effort on your part, I chortle to myself. Oh my god. She drives a palm into her forehead. Your dress is over there, by the way. It was, most of the way off before I put a shirt on you. I passed out? She looks a little shocked. Kind of. I heave myself out of the little nest I've made on the only comfortable if you're in the exact right position couch. Not going too much into it, but basically, you made a move. Wasn't completely unwelcome. I scoff. Tess gives an unhappy groan at this. Basically, I insisted we finish our coffees before we, did anything potentially stupid. I mean, it could have been even awkwarder than it is right now. Of course, by the time I'd finished doing the whole Are you just sure you're not just drunk horny speech? You'd fallen completely asleep. Ugh. She stands there for a while and her head in her hands. Come on. I usher her towards the little kitchen bar stools. I've got some pancake batter in the fridge if you'd like one. Yeah. And another coffee, I suppose? Yeah. Wait. Holy shit. Did you win like $1,000 last night? And then spend like half of it? Yeah, pretty much. I fetch the little pancake skillet that I nicked on my way out when I left home and throw on a touch of olive oil. The non-stick isn't what it used to be, but it only needs a little help with the first pancake. The latter ones always seem to be fine without it. Yeah, I usually lose most of the money I bring with me anyway, so at least I spend it all on, getting drunk and partying and stuff. And hang on, did we actually ever get pizza? I think I remember something about pizza. Pineapple! Ha! Yeah. No, you didn't hook up with any pineapples while we were out. Not that I'm sure you don't enjoy the occasional tropical fruit. I toss a bunch of blueberry bits into the batter. I make blueberry pancakes a lot, so I keep some ready. Is that Mark? She gestures to the red area on my neck. You know, I hadn't expected you to be a biter. I begin prying the edges of the pancake away, though in retrospect I probably should have seen that coming. Look, let's just not even. None of that needs to, Wait, hold on a sec there, I insist. Now, just keep an open mind for a minute. Don't. Hang on, no, hear me out, okay, look. I take a deep breath. Look, I'm not over K, and you're not over, jerking McJerkface. Ugh, she heaves, pretending to be sick in her mouth at the mention of him. Or actually being sick in her mouth. That's also possible. I'm pretty sure that's actually his real name. Alright, so, and just run with this for me in a minute. I'm not the kind of guy that really goes in for, one night stands and shit, and we both know it's not really working out for you either. No idea what you're talking about, she insists, tapping her nails on the counter. I mean, if any of the guys that asked me out actually took a shower more than once a month, I might be a lot happier. What, you don't like boys that look like fruit and smell like feet? Why do all the smelly people like me? She cries. Yeah, have a pancake, girl. I slide the first pancake onto a plate for her and add a dollop of honey. It's a bit greasy, but that should be good for a hangover. Coffee? Oh my god, yes, she scoffs. So, wait, let me get this straight. She tears into her breakfast. You think that we should, just be each other's rebounds? She asks, having woken up a fair bit now. Look, okay, I think that Mickey is having a party at her place next Wednesday, I begin, wrangling the espresso maker. I prefer this chunky apparatus over the fancy machines most people use these days, partially because I hate those little capsule things, and I think equally that I find the metallic taste of the coffee surprisingly nostalgic. I think perhaps we should get wasted again and do something stupid. Just having, planned it this time, I shrug. She gulps down a chunk of pancake. This is good. And while I'm all for getting wasted, look, you have until next week to think about it. I just think, okay, look, I think it would be, weirdly good for both of us. Or at least me, which is the main thing. I guess you can always buy me pretty things with your gambling money. Yeah, I would seriously prefer you didn't spread that around. You had your own judgments when I told you. Yeah, and now I don't care. The parts that I actually remember were pretty fun. Don't remember that, though. She gestures to her dress, still hanging on a stool. That was pretty fun, too. Tequila always makes me hot. She stops just before the end of a sentence. Is that so? I nod gleefully, sliding over to the fridge and writing on my shopping list in big letters, tequila. She grins. I'm not sure if that was tactless or really quite smooth. I'd like to think the latter. Yeah, you don't have work today, do you? No? She hesitates, straightening suddenly. No? She dashes over to her phone on the shelf by the door. No! She cheers. Forget what day it was? Alright, if I did, it would be your fault, she pouts. And my brother's coming up to pick me up in, I think, 10 minutes? Unless... Nah, man, you do not want me driving after last night. Oh shit, wait. I was meeting Ali today, wasn't I? I better text her and let... Huh. I find myself standing rigidly, staring off into the middle distance. It's there. Again. Kami? Kami, you still with us? Tess waves a hand in front of me. Yeah, yeah, I just got like this super intense, like, deja vu or something. Really? Do you go around proposing friends with benefits deals with many girls? I choose not to respond to that, I scoff. I've, just been getting the weirdest feeling lately, like, you know, when you could, like, swear you're being watched, only, like, times a million. She glances over to where I've been staring, covering herself up a bit more. Have you been smoking anything interesting? Are you just worried that I didn't share with you? No. Maybe. Actually, I've never actually tried a joint. She sips her coffee loudly. Neither have I. I'm mostly just worried that I secretly have a really addictive personality. I'm just worried I'd start drooling on things, she admits. I choose not to respond to that either. So, she slurps her coffee loudly. Next Wednesday? She asks, letting it sit there for a moment. I mean, this Wednesday coming, so like 4 days or whatever, but yeah? Alright, look, I'm not promising anything though. She brandishes her coffee cup threateningly. Oh no, that's fine. I'll just invest in a buttload of tequila in the meantime, and we'll just see what happens. I swear if I wasn't so sexually frustrated, I'd tell you to piss off. Well, I mean, there will be other guys there if you decide I'm not good enough. Good to know. She slurps loudly again for effect. I love how we're so stupidly comfortable around one another. She ponders this. You're right. Holy shit, I think I'm actually more comfortable around you than, like, anyone else. Her eyes widen. The fuck am I supposed to say to that, girl? I don't know. Be honoured or something. God damn, my head hurts. Panadol? Cheers. I will be wanting my jacket back, I call after Tess. She is now dressed mostly in my clothes and being driven away by her brother, who is actually incredibly handsome, which is interesting. I don't want to be a jerk, but both of their parents are kind of boring looking, but both kids turned out super well. Both my parents, of course, are short, stocky, and average, and so am I. I mean, I really am quite self-conscious about the way I look. But I do always take comfort in knowing that 99% of the time I am the smartest person in the room, and that I might be an alien. Maybe if you're extra good next Wednesday, she calls back, now halfway through to the turn-off. Like many people I know, Tess is really far more comfortable around me than most people. People seem to innately trust me for some reason, which is fine. At least I'm never left in the dark when it comes to the best gossip. I only wish that I wasn't still in the dark as far as my ability goes. In 22 years, I still haven't met a single person who even knows the slightest thing about this stuff. I have to assume I'm not the only one, though, and maybe they know what's really going on. And maybe they know why I'm getting this really annoying feeling of dread, like being watched, specifically in the direction of that shitty blind intersection that Tessa's brother is navigating at this very moment. It doesn't really matter, though. Even if I am the only one, at least I can still make some dosh. 7.01 and a bit, Ali estimates. Newton meters aren't exactly the most high-tech apparatus, however. They're just springs of specific strengths and a basic measurement system on a plastic cylinder. The trouble is, the more you use it, the more the spring becomes slightly deformed. This particular Newton meter is calibrated to measure up to 2 kilograms in weight, or just a bit more. 20 newtons to be specific. Damn you, gravity. Why can't you be a nice round 10 meters per second, not all wobbly around 9.8? Yeah, it always seems to show just barely over 7. Trouble is that even gravity isn't so constant, so I can never get a really specific measurement. I complain. Do you want to try the scale? She asks. Couldn't hurt. I sigh. Ali unhooks the 1 kilogram weight we've been using for me to get a bit of leverage, if leverage is indeed the right word, on the apparatus, and instead places it upon the incredibly accurate scale used to measure out tiny fractions of grams for use in chemistry and stuff. Ali and I have been meeting up like this every once in a while ever since I first told her and her twin sister, Kaya, about my ability. I've always trusted them to keep my secret, though admittedly it is largely because I know they're both so incredibly antisocial that they'd have to actually talk to someone to let the cat out of the bag. Ali, Kaya and I have always been well into academics. They're both doing really well in their fields, Ali in chemistry and Kaya in literature. We've been trying to figure out exactly how my ability works, and slightly abusing Ali's resources now that she's doing a PhD. But to put it plainly, we haven't found shit. On the other hand, we have borrowed one of the university's labs for a day, along with all of their best measurement equipment that we could find. You really haven't told anyone else yet? Ha! Hell no. Look, I know it's basically the biggest deal ever in the scientific community, but I'm at least like 85% sure that if anyone actually knew, I'd end up getting dissected on some table by douchebags within about a month. Ali cups her chin. That's fair, but why did you tell us? Alright, I'm gonna be honest with you. You guys are literally the only people that I can go on like full nerd on and you'll actually keep up. Why do people have to be so... Ugh. I know. She sets the scale to 0 and I push down on the weight again. It's reading 708.2325? Settling at 2.5. So, yeah, 7 newtons at a bit. And you really can't do more than that. No, I really can't. Jeez, we go over this every time. I press down on the weight again. Look, I can do less than 7. Look, there's about 5. The readout drops to around 500 grams of weight. Here's 3. Look, I don't even need to watch. I block the view from the scale readout with one hand. Let's say 4.5, 2.5, 1 newton. She considers this for a moment. She does this awesome thing with one of her eyebrows shoots up completely independently of what the other one's doing when she's surprised. Like how they do in movies or something, but I don't think she even does it on purpose. It's pretty cool. Most people wouldn't even be able to tell that kind of a thing with their actual limbs. And definitely not that clearly. Yeah, but I figured, because I've only got 7 newtons to work with, like at the gym, I can lift like 100 kilos with one leg on the leg press thing. Her eyebrow shoots up again. I still think that's super cool. What? I have strong legs. Weak hands, strong legs. I guess you don't use your hands much. Yeah, I keep meaning to use the arm machines more, but then I'm like, yeah. Anyhow, how's the research going? Your company's still funding for... What was it? So the company's funding you to look for a better way of purifying their product, right? Basically, yeah. They've been getting impurities in their products. I've been synthesizing the components on my own, trying to figure out where they're coming from. I think it might be more of a mechanical problem than a chemistry issue, though. So you're going to have to get to know their entire synthesizing process. That sounds like fun. My offer to help you out with all the speeches and shit stands, by the way. I know how much you love talking to people. I fetch my crazy straw from my jacket as a stream of water slithers over to me. I separate the orb of water into 2. Drink? I may take you up on that. The speech, I'm fine. Besides, we're not meant to eat or drink in here. I know, which is why I took the water directly from the deionizer and kept it up to completely suspend it away from these nasty as hell tables. I connect the orbs again and sip it back through the straw. Straws help. I used to go ahead and drink directly from suspended liquids, but Well, not only does that look ridiculous, but 9 times out of 10 it ends up going down my windpipe and I choke on it. Still, though. Yeah, I know. The last thing I want is to accidentally consume some bug that actually managed to survive in a chemistry lab. Hmm. They do say that in hospitals, um, Carmine? I've suddenly found myself standing, staring towards the corner of the lab. Sorry, I just got a weird, um, shit. Like the feeling when someone's watching you, like after you've watched the episode of Doctor Who with the gas masks. Oh, yes, I know, you don't have to go into it. She recoils at the thought of that episode. Right? I mean, it's actually a fantastic episode, though. The concepts are great, the moral dilemmas and everything, but it's still an episode I'd just skip over if I'm watching the whole season, because, I might want to go to the bathroom at night, at some point in the following month, and I won't be able to because I'm afraid there's a freaking... I know the feeling, it's okay, she insists. I'm still staring at the corner, though, as though there's something right there that's going to leap out of the dark. But it's not dark. In fact, it's the one corner of the room that doesn't even have a cabinet or something. Just a 2-slot PowerPoint with the left switch still left on. You know what? I'm just gonna flick that off now. There we go. Wait, why would you be freaked out by something like that? Alright, yeah, no, sure, I could totally mess up like a normal person. No problem there. I mean, I could dismantle their major nerves in alphabetical fucking order, but the whole idea of that thing is that it regenerates. What the fuck am I supposed to do against that shit? I can't throw cars at things. I can barely throw rocks at shit. You've given this a lot of thought, haven't you? She doesn't ask so much as observe. Little bit, I sigh. And it's still there! I throw a finger out towards the corner. Maybe we should move on, Ali suggests. Oh, shit, yeah, same as last time? Sure, Ali sighs. She probably thinks I'm crazy, and in her defense, I am the kind of dick that would totally make up something like this just to mess with her. She moves over to the window, peering over the little courtyard to the lab on the far side. Got it? One sec. I extend my sensors out with my ability. I can sense a fair area. Naturally, the greater the area, the less detailed I can feel. When spread over a relatively large room like the one over there, I can generally tell how many people are in the room and the general shape and locations of any larger objects. Ignoring then anything in between, I can focus in enough that I can tell you what each of the people are doing. Focus on one person, I can probably tell you what they have in their pockets or their jewelry. I rarely go any more specific than that when it comes to people, though, and try not to feel inside anyone's bodies unless I really have to. Not because I can't, or because it's overly dangerous. I have become very good at controlling my ability over the years, but simply because that's not super cool. Like, dude, not cool, bro. So I don't. Nor do I go, around feeling people up, which I'm sure is something most people would do. Alright, maybe once or twice when I was younger and not as well adjusted, and maybe a few times when I was, making out with people, but never inside anyone, honestly. I try and only use my ability when I'm at home, and, making sandwiches and playing Game Boy, or stealing from casinos. Call me evil. Go on, try. Ali and Kaya have sometimes asked me why I don't go and do the whole superhero thing. I tell them a different thing every time, and to a point, they're all true. I mean, I really do just want to live my life, and even sometimes I do help people out. That time a douchebag was mugging some guy and just happened to find his esophagus loosening, projectile vomiting, long enough that the victim could get away, for example. But the real reason that I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing is just because I'm scared. Scared of what the world might think, or rather, of what they might do to me. There are 3 people. I had taken a peek over the window to get an idea of the distance of the far wing of the building. I can't actually just automatically tell how far things are away. It's more of a hit and miss sort of a thing, more of an art, not a science. I don't tell anyone that, though. If they knew that, then they'd be able to figure out a counter to my ability. 2 males, 1 female. Don't ask how I know that. How do you know that? She has her hair up and a number of clips in her hair, and as well as the shape of her hands. Ali never believes me when I insist that I don't feel people up. I can't be bothered trying to convince her anymore, to be honest. She's holding a conical flask with an inch or two of liquid and is currently pouring it into a large beaker. I say all of this while facing away from the window and without my glasses on, so I really couldn't tell even if I was looking. The 2 guys looked to be sitting, and one of them just made a lewd gesture towards the young lady. Indeed he did, Ali sighs. Alright, you're still psychic. Yep. Is your, zombie 6-year-old? Okay, now, I'm not gonna be able to get up at nights thanks to you. Really, thanks, Kami. Yeah, sorry, girl. And, yeah, I'm still getting a weird feeling from right goddamn there. I find myself pointing a finger again. I used to have super bad anxiety, you remember that? This isn't that, alright? It's... Wait, hold on. I stand and move over to the window with Ali, my hand outstretched in the direction of my hypothetical boogeyman. It doesn't move. This feeling keeps coming from the same direction, but not the same place. I thought it was in the corner, but it's not. It was just the direction. And you still think I'm messing with you, don't you? Ali doesn't necessarily confirm nor deny this. Alright, look, whatever. No, look, this is actually really bothering me now. So, look, okay, we're on the 2nd level now, and it's coming from right over there, which would be... Alright, fuck it. Okay, experiment time. Okay, so you know that I can't sense my position or orientation and use all of my 7 newtons at once, right? Ali begins shaking her head slowly. So if I could cover my eyes and push down on the no, then I could orientate myself. Okay. I hold on to the Newton meter here, and you make sure rather that it's on max pressure at all time, and then you spin me around. Oh God. Then if I can still point out the direction that it's coming from, we know that I'm not crazy, or at least not about this. Probably still pretty crazy about a bunch of other shit, I admit. Ali drags herself up slowly, straightening out her lab coat. Not that she actually needs to wear one, it's just, being in a lab, wearing a lab coat makes her feel so damn cool, so good on her. Here, she unhooks the Newton meter, attaches the kilogram weight to it and hands it to me. Alright. I cover my eyes. I really don't know what's going on here, and I really don't, I kind of hope that I'm crazy. That's probably not a good thing to hope. Let's go. I cover my eyes with one hand, pushing down on the Newton meter with the other. Ali begins turning me around. No, so you have to walk around with me, or I'll be able to figure out where I am. Fine, she sighs. I think she just goes with it these days. She knows what I am, and how potentially dangerous I am. But more than that, she knows me, probably better than anyone. And she's not going to take anything I seriously unless I can prove it. I may or may not be a total dick sometimes. She guides me over to a part of the lab with a little more room to move around. I try not to think about where I might be. I really do. But there's still that tiny part of my head that is busy going through possibilities of where I might be, which is at the end of the row of tables near the glassware. Okay. Ali begins walking around me. I think close to 3 times around. The feeling keeps moving around, rotating with me. Alright, theory time. Either I am going bonkers, and somehow this is some imaginary thing that my mind is creating for me, and at least it's real enough in my head that my brain knows to actually move it around while I'm rotating. Okay. That's actually not that subconsciouses just aren't that bright. That said, I suppose if I'm somehow supernatural, then it's not too hard to think that I might be supernaturally crazy. That's not good, though. I mean, if I start losing my mind, I could really be dangerous. Alright, other possibility. I'm not crazy, but then what the fuck is giving me this feeling? There. I throw out my arm. Ali doesn't tell me to open my eyes or anything. I get the feeling that she's, a bit busy cupping her chin in the way she does. Try again. Okay. She turns me around again. Alright, so, possibilities. What could it be that's giving me this feeling? I felt it at home, in town when I was meeting Cassie the other day, and now here. Could it be like something... Can I sense some kind of material? I was thinking that maybe I can sense some kind of radioactive, freaking... Maybe I can sense my equivalent of kryptonite or something. But then why did I feel it at home and only occasionally over the past week or so? Okay, no, not kryptonite. There. I point with my hand, crossing my body this time. She begins spinning me again, faster than before. I'm starting to get the feeling that I'm really not crazy. Damn. Is that better or worse than having a second type of extrasensory perception? God damn it, why can't I just amass huge amounts of money by abusing my power and retire someplace with scantily clad young woman in peace? Or maybe somewhere with skiing. Or both. Scantily clad women skiing. Wonder if that's a thing. There. I uncover my eyes. Ali just stands there, her prehensile eyebrow raised. Yep, I'm pointing in exactly the same direction I was before. Towards the southeast? And somewhat downward, as though something in I guess, the lower level of the psychology building were drawing me, or warning me? I don't know. Now see, both Ali and her sister tend to be rather monotonous in their speech, and I doubt that most people would ever be able to tell when either one were being sarcastic, genuine, enthused, or any other number of emotions. So you'll have to take my word for it that when I tell you that this, was in fact an incredibly surprised and fascinated, Alright. So, what do you think? The psychology building is in that direction, isn't it? Yeah. We both find ourselves having quickly migrated to the window, peering out in that direction. Unfortunately, there's an entire wing of maths, physics building in the way. I think, from the angle, that would be in... Wait, no, the psych building kind of pokes out a bit. Like the lobby, maybe? Maybe it's warning me that there are psychologists over there. Okay, actually, if I did have a psychologist radar or something, I would actually be alright with that. But there are probably a dozen professional shrinks in the psychology building at any one time, not just the one. That also doesn't explain why I get the feeling at home or in town. Any other times? Briefly while driving, but I was on the way to town on the same day I noticed it while it was in town. It sounds like it's following you, she states plainly. Yeah, I was worried you'd say that. Don't suppose you want to go on some recon? No. Ugh, figured. Wait, what if it's someone like you? Yeah, that is probably more likely than any of the other options. I rub the back of my neck. Too much to ask that they just send me a letter when I'm fucking 11 or something to go to a magic school or something. No! They have to stalk me instead. Jesus. Maybe it's the, Professor X equivalent, Ali conjectures, looking more excited than I've seen her in a long time, which is saying very little. If there's an immortal dude with metal bones that happens to be named Hugh Jackman, do you want me to give him your number? Yes. Just occurred to me that the psychology lobby would be the perfect place to keep an eye on me when I'm going back to my car. I sigh. The feeling has stayed in the same place as Ali and I have moved through the building, always pointing towards the psych building. You're parked over there? Yep. Don't suppose you want to refill your water bottle at the station, I guess. I suppose, she sighs, fetching her heavy-duty sort of aluminium water bottle she's had for years. I wouldn't expect Ali to be a terribly good spy, as far as acting ability goes. That said, apart from the eyebrow, she doesn't have any facial tics, and she's too reserved to show nerves. She does go bright red when she's laughing, though, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Also, it's super cute. Just saying. See anything? I ask as she fills the bottle at this weird kind of water fountain thing that seems to be exclusively for water bottles. Fair enough, too. The last thing you want is, uni students putting their lips on things. Let's not elaborate on that. It wouldn't be the best view from here, and I don't expect my hypothetical stalker to make herself too conspicuous. I hope it's a her, by the way. Having a lady stalker just sounds better than a bloke stalker. There's one girl on her phone. She's facing the other way. She cute? I grin. Ali just sighs. She didn't say no, though. Don't suppose you, want to hang out at the gardens for a while? I went there and had a nap the other day. Got the same feeling. Figured maybe I'll go and have a nap there every other day or something. Lay a trap? Not so much trap. Hang on. A pretty Korean girl is walking up the stairs opposite us. A pretty good excuse for me to sneak my glasses on and look in the general direction of the psychology lobby. Dem legs. It's a better angle now, and Ali was right. There's only the same office lady that was down there when I was doing tutorials in that same building several years ago. And one young woman just sitting on one of those little lounge cube things. She has shortish brown dark hair and a bob and is wearing a pretty loose-fitting denim jacket and is facing away, so I can't tell if she's cute. Damn. This Korean girl, though. Dang. More of a lure? Of course, maybe it's nothing like that. Maybe I'm just sensing anyone with a particular gene or virus or something. You sure it's only started happening recently, though? Ali asks. Yeah, I know, I've done the math. The fact that I've been getting it in all these different places, generally a short while after I've gotten somewhere, probably means that whatever it is both self-aware and there for me. Most of the other options include werewolves, of course. Do you think there are werewolves? I love how Ali just went ahead and didn't even question my werewolf idea. Sometimes I think she might be my ideal woman. Unfortunately, she only has eyes for Hugh Jackman. In her defense, well, Dude, really? Werewolves? You exist? Why not them? Dude, I'm not a damn werewolf. No, you're even more impossible than that, she nods. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, tell you what, if I ever meet one, I'll let you know. Before running away, presumably. You'd be useless against werewolves. Well, yeah, assuming they could regenerate, yeah, absolutely. Which, of course, they would have to be able to if they were able to transform to and fro like that. Absolutely. So, she pauses as I let her into the car. Why didn't you use your ability to find out what was going on down there? I couldn't be sure. They couldn't sense it somehow. It is possible that you forgot, didn't you? Yeah, pretty much. There is a little spot just behind the Japanese gardens. A little spot where I like to go and take a nap on clear days. It's positioned between the main landscaping of the Japanese garden and the little river that they have there, which, now that I think about it, doesn't come from anywhere. Wait, no, that's not right. Rivers, they all come from... Oh, okay, so they must pump the water back uphill. That sounds like an awful lot of work. Although that would explain why they have a pump house disguised as a water wheel. Damn it, how did I never think of that? I've been coming here since I was a little kid. How did I... This little spot that I come to, it's just between the end of the Japanese gardens and this hedge that separates to the next area. It's not big enough for a picnic, and the grass never grows quite soft enough for it to be a place for lovers, per se. But it is private enough that you can get a tiny little slice of privacy. And at this time of year, there are always daisies growing, because the gardeners always leave this place to last. Okay. Assuming that they are people, and I can sense them, then there's just as good a chance that they can sense me. Perhaps that's why they keep on finding me. Or maybe it's just because I have my name and old phone details printed on the side of my car. Whose idea was that? Oh, right, yeah, Dad's. In his defense, the Jake's Fat Gallery in school has rather grown on me. Lately, I've been hearing people on their phones while in the gallery noting to their friends they're just up at Jake's or just at Jake's Gallery. Come up and look. Which I can only take as a good sign. Of course, now whenever I'm giving my young lady friends a lift home from the clubs and they start harassing strangers out the window, all the boys they proposition so crudely end up giving the gallery a call. Serves them right, though. I never asked my parents to print the thing on the car. Honestly, I don't think it's doing us any harm. Michaela and Emily might not be the most pleasant to carpool with, but they are absolutely gorgeous. One might think of it as advertising. Would be nice if they stopped making fun of me about my glasses, though. Yes, Mickey, I do require silly telescope things to see the street signs. And poking fun of them while I'm driving, just not cool. Okay, let's run through this. What if they are like me? What if they can do the same things I can? Are they all able to impart kinetic energy? Is it the same amount? Is it? That seems very unlikely. That said, it's all impossible to begin with. Ali's right. It's all impossible, so really, nothing can be more impossible than anything else. No, that's not how that works, and I know it. Still, though. Strange that I, a man that considers himself one of science, would know something that the entire scientific community would wish to know. Something greater, something that could open up entire new worlds of science. Yet somehow it brings me no comfort. No comfort at all. And there it is again. Distant. This feeling like a mosquito buzzing about, far enough away that you can't necessarily hear it, but only sense its presence, its greed, its lust for blood. Fuck, I hate mozzies. I think I'm starting to hate this feeling more, though. I feel that it's right there, like it wants to tell me something, or that there's something I need to know, something that I need to uncover, maybe. Nah, that's stupid. Unless this feeling is actually somehow altering my own brainwaves, I mean, okay, so that's technically possible, I guess. Also, if that's true, then it's basically mind control, in which case I'm fucked. Also, if it were, then there'd be no good reason to keep on stalking me. So, probably not mind control. Though I am glad to have cleared that up. Alright, let's assume that they're like me, but not necessarily, like me. So, okay, you know that old conversation, everyone's had it, the good old, what superpower would you have? Every time, the first thing that people think of is, to be able to fly, or to be invulnerable, or some stupid shit like that. So, what kinds of powers might they have? They can't all be like me. If they were, they'd be able to sense movement through, their power as I do. They'd be able to tell where I was and that I was aware of them. Though I suppose maybe they're not using their power in that way for the same reason that I'm not using my power in that way. Because maybe somehow they can sense it. But of course, I can already sense them, so no, that's not right. They are following me, but not in some generally... So, like when the young woman was in the psychology lobby, she had a line of sight to where I was parked. But of course, now they're down near the entrance of the gardens, so they can see when I'm going to leave, of course. Which means they can't sense me. If they could, there'd be no reason to have direct line of sight, unless this feeling is, of course, my own madness or coincidence, which is increasingly unlikely. But no, it's impossible, or rather ridiculous for them to sense me, otherwise they'd be doing so from less obvious positions. And of course, they're only following me from a distance. Or they're deliberately following me from a distance to test if I can sense them. In which case, it's a good double bluff, triple bluff scenario. I suppose I could put it to the test. Alright, time for an icy poll. And now there's two. I can sense them, two of them, the same place, with one another. Hang on. Now, I've never been super good at directions, and neither with the guys that built this fountain I'm standing in front of. But if I'm facing that way, and that's the path, then they are now two strange, ominous feelings coming from the same place down near the entrance of the gardens. Yep, they're still watching my car. Strange. I'm probably only within 50 yards of the source, but it doesn't feel any clearer, any closer. It's only directional. Like, two little blips on... Alright, I don't actually know enough about radars to finish that sentence. Alright, like the enemy tracking things that they have in a lot of first-person shooter video games these days. Yeah. That. I could look. I could just look down there and see what the source is. I mean, if it's that same young woman, then, well, I guess it's her then. But I'd need to put on my glasses for that. And there's too great a chance of giving myself away. Damn it. I never wanted my life to turn into some kind of stupid psychological thriller. Damn my eyes. Anyone else could just take a sneak peek, but not me. Alright. Yeah, I am gonna get that icy poll. As I trot along to the little, canteen, I guess, there's a big information centre with a little, and I've never actually been in there. I've lived in this town my whole life, but not once have I been inside. But there's either a little restaurant or a little cafe and a little tourist information shop. But as everyone who has ever been here for a picnic on a hot day will tell you, the little canteen out back that seems to have endless supplies of icy poles is the best part of the gardens. That and when the little ducklings are in the pond. So, it's been about 2 weeks since all this started. First, I could sense them at home. Then, once or twice near work. Then they followed me to uni for my semi-yearly meeting with Ali. But they only arrived about half an hour after I got there. And now I can sense 2 signatures. Alright, let's call them signatures. Every time I head to the gardens for a nap. They're getting closer too. Not so much that I can see them or not at any one time, but they seem to be getting bolder. But they still seem to be staying where they can see when or if I leave a location to keep track of me. So yeah, it's the car. They're definitely following the car. But by now they'd recognize me, obviously, and have a good idea of my schedule. I wonder if they'll show up at Nikki's place tonight, at her party out in the middle of nowhere. If they do, I suppose, well, I don't know. A tracking device is real? No, Mickey's place is too far out of the way. They'd be stupid to show up there. Though pretty much everyone in the world is stupid by my standards, so you never know. And now, one of them, the signatures, is walking right up behind me as I stand halfway through an icy pole, staring into the divine, blurred, abstract majesty of blues and greens that my eyes can only attempt to comprehend in front of me. It's beautiful, isn't... Oh my god! Ah! No! I exclaim, almost falling to my knees, and, tragically, losing a large chunk of icy pole in the process. God, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. A charming, sweet young woman's voice attempts to make a quick amends. She speaks with a notable accent, one of the kind of sexy ones. Italian, I think, or from around that sort of area. It's been a while since I was in Europe. No, sorry, I was completely phased out. Oh my god, you scared the daylights out of me. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was just saying... No, it's fine. Really. No, I should have been paying more attention. My icy balls are almost melted over my hand already. I pout. Oh, she scoffs. That's tragic. It is tragic, I know. Um, I sigh. This isn't going to be super attractive, so feel free to look away, but I do have to do this. I turn away from the young lady. I lap up all of the sugary water from my icy paw. Oh my god, she sighs. Yeah, I I can't let an icy bowl go to waste. Come on. It's fine, really. I understand. Well, no, I really don't. But let's say that I do. She shrugs. That's something I'd say. But I was going to say that it's such a beautiful view. Oh yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'll take your word for that. I scoff. Um, sorry. She begs clarification. Oh, I'm blind as a bat. I whip out my glasses. Yeah. Wait, you. She gives my glasses an odd look. People never believe me how bad my vision is until I try these. I push them towards her again. Just don't wear them too much, you'll hurt yourself. Oh, wow. She immediately responds after placing on the glasses. Actually, even blinder, turns out, than a bat, I mean. Or like, maybe a really old bat, I guess? I ramble a little as she recoils from my glasses. It's the standard old deal. They take them and wear them for a while, see if they can focus. They can't. They take them off. They blink few times rapidly, try to see through them again. It's actually pretty cute. I like the whole song and dance sort of thing. Basically, the world's a big, fuzzy nothing unless I'm wearing those, and only, when something's at a relatively specific distance from my face. But she hesitates for a moment. It's her. It definitely is. This feeling pointing out the strange presence is pointing to her. Right there. It's not, um, it's not, I suppose, I'm not getting a feeling like I should run or hide or. There's no fight or flight reflex going on, just some weird feeling saying, yep, that's her, or something along those lines. I should count myself lucky. One of my ESP abilities allow me to compensate for my terrible vision. Maybe having a second one that, is also useful is asking too much. You alright? I ask. She's been staring at the glasses for a while now. Oh, sorry. She tries them on again, attempting to focus on something. Don't try too hard, I insist. They're super high power ones, you'll hurt your eyes. Eye strain is bad. She hands them back before rubbing her eyes from the strain. Most people don't tell you, but wearing someone else's glasses can be really quite bad for you. It puts too much strain on your eyes. Yeah, she says, blinking rapidly. I get that. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lovely spot. I put them on myself. These are mid-range ones. Can't read with them, but otherwise fine for getting around. Why? She pauses again. You weren't looking at the view then? Hmm. She's not super good at this. She keeps on hesitating. $20 says she's trying to process how I can drive and such, which probably means they didn't know I had such lousy vision in the first place. Oh, nah, yeah, nah, it's kind of silly when I say it, I think. I chuckle and look back at her. She's cute. She has short black hair, practical, with a slight fringe sweeping to the right, suntan skin, and really very green eyes. You have extraordinarily green eyes, I suddenly blurt out. Like, super green, though. They're my mum's, she blushes. I'm sorry, I have to. I quickly switch to my reading glasses and beckon her closer. Really? Look, I got super weird eyes, yeah, see, but like blue, but with like yellow on the inside there. Everyone thinks they're green when they aren't too close, but yours are like proper emerald type. Yeah. Sorry, pretty girl, pretty eyes, getting close to sunset. Ignore me. She blushes some more. Here, tell you what, okay, stand there, okay? Just right there. I usher her over to the spot I was standing before. No, no, seriously, just trust me on this, I insist. After a moment of giving me a confused look, she yields and then stands in the spot. Alright, now just face, that away. Yep, just like that. And just breathe. You realize you're acting super strange, right? She asked with a little giggle. No, no, see, I'm not. This is what people keep on getting wrong about me. I'm not acting strange. I am super strange. All right, just relax, okay? Just breathe. Okay, fine. She pouts. She takes a moment. She inhales slowly, then exhales. Inhales. A slight gust of wind blows upward from the river and up between the two trees she stands directly between. Her shoulders relax. It's. She takes another deep breath. There you go, I scoff. It's. It's wonderful, she sighs. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what it is. I think maybe being equidistant from the pond over here and the fountain over there, and then the wind coming up the river and flowing along that wall here, but something about the landscape maybe, but that spot right there is just perfectly balanced. It's. She takes a few more deep breaths, letting her body relax. It's just right. Like, I'm not one of those people that believes in auras and that kind of thing, but every time I come here, I stand in that one spot and I just feel perfectly balanced. Balanced, she repeats. That is the right word, isn't it? She considers this for a moment. I suddenly feel really silly. Right? Suddenly you were considering that something almost like magical sort of thing, but then you snap back to reality, right? Yes, she scoffs. Oh, I'm sorry. She hesitates again. You were phased out? Yeah, that's what happened to me. Maybe maybe this spot does have magical powers. She entertains the concept. I'm sure all the Uber nerds I know would scold me for saying this, but I honestly think it might. I also think I'm gonna need another icy ball. Italy! Ah, right, yeah, thought it might have been. I note, we now sit over the far side of the information centre, now both with icy poles. Alright, I gotta ask, why the hell would anyone want to come to Tasmania? I mean, nice place and all, but we're kind of obscure as places get. Well, I live in England at the moment, though my friends and I are just on holiday, she insists. We went to Sydney. We saw Hairspray at the Opera House. I would actually love to see Hairspray on stage. Contrary to what you might think, I always loved the theatre. The local theatre company wanted to do it here, but they realised there aren't very many black people in Hobart. They just aren't. You know, I did notice that. There seem to be like a lot of Asian people in particular, like in Sydney and Melbourne as well. We stopped over there for a few days, but not so much here. Um, no, we're pretty monochromatic here as far as it goes. It's not like we drive anyone not Caucasian off with like pitchforks or anything. It's just no one bothered to move here yet. But I think now that Mona and stuff is here and everything's kind of gentrified and making us look better, then people will gradually move down. But yeah, it's more of a place to visit than a place to move to. There just aren't many jobs here. There was a lot of advertising for Tasmania and Melbourne. Oh, we saw kangaroos and a platypus. Oh my god, they're so weird, right? I thought they would be bigger, but they're only like this big. Yeah, they have that. So they have these poisonous spurs like on their back legs. Oh, I heard about that. How does that actually work though? They actually have like a venom gland somewhere up near the thigh. They're one of extremely few mammals that actually use venom, especially with a specific gland. We think maybe venom was actually pretty common with mammals once, but not so these days. I think it's something to do with the increases in predatory behaviors, being predators realize it was more efficient to spend energy going for the jugular than it was spending, constantly having a body part that specifically develops venom. And and you're giving me that look like I'm from another planet, aren't you? No, she says with zero conviction. Yeah, I'm a biology major and arts literature, double major. Basically, I'm a huge nerd, I sigh. Good thing I've been scamming, all of Australia's casinos out of money because the job market for millennials has dried up about 2 generations ago. Hmm, I always wish I was better at science, things like that. No, you don't. I scoff. Trust me, the more mysteries of the universe you unravel, the more you realize just how little you know. I chortle a little. Of course, if you'd like to give me a, notable, comprehensive, slightly abridged lecture on the complete history of the universe, just let me know. That's alright. Yeah, fair enough. It's mostly just about clouds anyway. Clouds? Yeah, I'm talking, when the universe in its entirety was just basically a big cloud of hydrogen and helium, still cooling from the moment of creation, blah blah blah. Basically, the universe was just a big cloud for a really long time until stars started happening. You know, something always bothered me about the concept of the Big Bang, she sighs, slurping up the last bit of liquid from the popsicle stick. If the universe really did just, like, pop into existence, that's kind of the idea, right? Then what's stopping it from happening again? She asks, wearing a smirk as though she had just laid down the bird in a game of 500. Absolutely nothing. I scoff. I asked exactly the same thing when I did astronomy course. We know actually quite a lot about the Big Bang, I guess. At least that it was in fact a Big Bang, an enormous bloom of energy, massive amounts of heat. See, there are all these little bits of hydrogen and helium parts of the original cloud that I was talking about, bits that actually never formed into stars or galaxies or anything else, and have been doing pretty much nothing but just gradually cooling down from the, basically the beginning of time. Now, the cool thing is that these bits of primordial gas they still aren't completely cool. They're still hot enough to emit a little bit of light. In the same way that hot materials glow red, only not red, obviously. Throw in some, but yeah, you throw in some thermodynamics mumbo jumbo. When we calculated that said primordial gases first formed in so far back and hence started cooling so many billions of years ago, and so yeah, there was a Big Bang or whatever you call it. Personally, I think it's a shitty name, but whatever, it happened. And it's a good thing too, because then we wouldn't exist. But yeah, no, there's nothing stopping it from happening again. It could. Maybe it already has. Maybe we're already living in kind of the weird sort of coalesced entity of two universes rather than a single one. Who knows? Now, I have to ask you something. Indeed. Okay, so I assume that you hold to one denomination of Abrahamic religion or another. That would be correct, yes. Although I assume you're about to say something incredibly hedonistic? Oh, totally, yeah. I should have that on a business card, basically. Or like a t-shirt? Both. Anyway. So, this is basically the same question that you asked me. If God created himself, just kind of happened the same way the Big Bang did in our theory, then what's stopping another one from showing up? Another God. Yeah, full deal. Just a second omnipotent, omniscient, probably some other word starting with omni, just shows up. I present her with essentially the exact same question she had posed to me. I honestly have no response to that, she scoffs. However, I believe, and this isn't like word from the Bible, but rather the very concept of God. I believe he must be a unique entity. Why are you looking at me like that? Sorry, I had found myself staring at her, stupefied. It's just, most religious people I know wouldn't even entertain such an idea. Yeah, I have found that as well. She taps her chin, pondering. I used to be like that too, actually, and, I don't, for example, believe in the Big Bang, by the way, but if I can't even entertain someone else's ideas, how am I meant to understand them? She shrugs. And you're staring at me again. Oh, well, sorry about that. Though if it helps, I can't actually make out more than a vague outline of your features. Also, I suddenly want to give you like a big hug. Honestly, an open-minded Christian. Just, what do you know? And I assume that you think all religions and superstition is stupid? I mean, like, I wouldn't say that out loud necessarily with people around that I don't know, in a public place necessarily with a microphone. Also, no, but like, there are things out in the universe that we don't know. I'm not saying anything mystical per se, but to straight up dismiss anything without exploring the possibilities is stupid. And I mean, I doubt that the psychic lady, that has the shop down the road really can speak to the dead. But, until I find, the hydraulic jack underneath the table or the speakers behind the curtain, I mean, I will keep my mouth shut. Well, that's better than most atheists. I'm I'm not atheist. Don't go telling anyone. But no, I no, I do believe in something. Not believe. I know. I observe, and so I believe in something. Call it God if you want. The difference is I don't like it. You know, I don't. I don't. I don't believe. I don't believe it's a good thing. The things I know, the things that I've seen, that I've observed in the universe, I don't like them. And the idea that there's a living thing, an organism, and an intent that the universe has, or that there is something with that much power in the universe, I just don't like the idea of something having that much power. It's a difficult thing to come to terms with, yeah. Oh no, I've come to terms with it. That's the thing. I'm fine with despising the idea of God. Feel free to think it's just I'm just going through a phase though. It might turn out I am, go figure. Fair enough. She snaps off a small chunk of her popsicle and begins crunching on it. Can I ask something? Is it about my eyes? Everyone wants to ask about my eyes when they meet me. Just, yeah, go ahead, get on with it. Ah, right. She fidgets nervously. I I just wondered, why don't you wear your glasses all the time? I mean, wearing your own glasses made for you, isn't bad for your eyes, is it? Nah, it's way too late for that. I have, juvenile macular degeneration. Get that from my dad's side of the family. Thanks, Dad. I also have, mid-onset glaucoma. Basically my sight is screwed 5 ways from Sunday. That's awful. She gives a forlorn look out into the distance. Is it? I scoff. The strange locator feeling in my head hasn't subsided at all, but it seems I'm getting used to it. I do think that all the wanting to be found stuff was in my head now. At least it's good to know that I'm not crazy. Or not about that at least. Okay, so by the time that I'm 27, I won't be allowed to drive. By 30 maybe 32, glasses won't do a damn thing. In 5 years after that, I'll be able to tell if someone's standing in front of me. Year or two after that, I'll be able to tell if someone's shining a light in my face or not. That's about it. And then, finally, the glaucoma will, have me in near to complete blackness. I sigh. That sounds super depressing. And yeah, when they first told me, I was, fucking devastated. But I've already learned to read Braille. I've already learned to navigate just fine with my cane. My family, is relatively wealthy, not terribly, but still. And with the addition of a little disability pension, even if I can't manage to get a job teaching science to suckers, which was always my plan, I will be able to get some kind of part-time job, and just being a bit frugal, I'll be fine. Which is easier when you have no desire to buy art or fancy clothes. The young woman looks at me, her mouth now agape. So I'll be just fine. I'll be a blind variety of fine. I let that sink in for a moment. In my experience, a lot of people deliberately avoid topics to do with a person's disability, and those with the disability tend to avoid such topics as well, not because so much of bringing back traumatic memories or anything like that, although it may, but, mostly just because it's needlessly tedious. As such, people are often surprised to find someone that will talk candidly about things. I've never thought of myself as having a disability, and I even feel bad when thinking words such as handicap about myself, as though I haven't really earned the right to say things about myself, and I've just almost found it almost annoying that people are ready to think of me as such. I mean, I just need glasses. 3 pairs, yeah, sure. But, yeah, come on. So, yeah, I mean, it's awful, but so's being born in a third world country, or being below the poverty line, or not being able to walk. Me? I'm gonna be just fine. You you take offense when people think of you as handicapped? If you really need to, yeah. Handicapped. I mean, offense doesn't feel like the best word, but yeah, pretty much. Not because I'm not, I mean, I am, and I'll be more and more so later, but there are people there are people that have it way worse than I do. In fact, about 90% of the world's population is worse off than me. I mean, I'm a middle class white guy, seriously. So feeling sorry for myself is kind of a dick move. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't feel sorry for yourself, though. Oh, no, I mean, I still do. I mean, one day, not too long from now, I might never be able to gaze upon a pretty girl again, and that's depressing as hell. I mean, see a beautiful sunset if... Nah, pretty girls is where it's at. Really? Pretty girls? Totally, screw a sunset. I make a trace outline of a curvy woman in the air. That shows where the money is. We both giggle at the idea. I had almost forgotten that she is the source of the strange radar blip in my mind. My poor eyesight really had taken her by surprise, as had my unusual outlook on it. She had other presumptions. She had already had the idea of what I should be like. Alright, 2 more tests. Well, I better let you go. You've been glancing at your wrist more and more. That's usually a hint. I fetch my phone, which I primarily use as a timepiece, in which it has very, very big numbers. It tells me it's just about 5:30. Also, I'm supposed to be at my friend's place by, 6, but I'm gonna take a nap first. Her shindigs never, start getting interesting until 10 or so. I project my ability out silently, tracing over the shape of the grass, over to the side of the park bench we sit on. I find a shoe. Inside the shoe there is a foot. You're welcome to come if you like. Always room for a nice gal with a sexy voice at a house party. I allow my sense to envelop her foot, right down to her little toe, that seems to be a little scar there. Yeah. Quite a long gash, actually, but not too deep. Probably dropped a knife or something. Oh, you think my voice is sexy, hmm? She goads, as far as I can tell, unaware of my intruding on her little piggies. Well, the first word that came to mind was delicious, but I thought I shouldn't be so forward with someone I just met. And you still said it? The word you're looking for is incorrigible, yes. Well, did it work? I mean, are you blushing or anything? I ask as she giggles at me with her little tee-hee style laugh. I mean, I can't tell. You're blushing, like a little, right? Don't tell me I didn't get anything from a line like that. Come on. It's yeah, yes, I'm blushing. She attempts to regain a little composure. But only a little bit, she insists. And only because of how ridiculous you are. Oh, I am pretty ridiculous, yay. I pick myself up. She hasn't noticed my sensors over her leg, so it seems relatively safe to assume that she can't tell what I'm doing. I extend a hand to her. Alistair. She hesitates. Again. Maya, she responds after a moment. Something wrong? I ask. Something on my hand? Oh, no, she jumps up, slightly flustered, but keeping it together pretty well. Delightful to meet you. She takes my hand. Delicious, even. Oh, snap, I scoff. Oh, now, see, I'm blushing. All right. Got it back the other way. Nicely played. Well, I should head off soon. Have some leftover chicken. I was going to make stock for a soup. Time consuming, though. I sigh. She halts me. Before she takes a moment, can I ask you another question? I guess the stock can wait, sure. Terribly good company after all, so don't worry about it. Go for it. I shrug. I was just... If you're going blind and it's too late to prevent it, why don't you wear glasses all the time? Her voice wavers, concerned that she might be trespassing somewhat. Ah, that question. I chortle to myself. That one. I go ahead and get comfortable again. Okay, so long or short version, I ask. The truth? She slowly sits down. I guess? Alright. Well, short version is practice, so I'll be ready for when I can't see anymore. That would seem... Yeah, that would make sense. Surely you'd still wear them most of the time, though. But she's figured it out. But no one presses you on it. I wouldn't have, would I? Nope, most people are too polite for that. But then, if you bother to have a trick like that, then what's the long story? I give her a moment to think about what she's asking me. She knows, she's put together rather, that I have a kind of trick to stop people from asking me something like that, so the long story must be something personal. Most people would try and assure me that I don't have to tell them, especially when they realized it must be something personal. I'm just curious, she pauses. Besides, the entire trick works from people being polite, so... yeah, you got me there, absolutely. Bullshit, she's a lousy liar. Well, if you want the long story, then I'm going to need to ask you a question. Alright, sounds fair. You've answered mine, mostly. Alright. Why do you wear the wig? She falters. More than she had before. She definitely hadn't expected that. Wrist. I extend a hand. I hadn't used my ability to search her body. I didn't need to. She stares at me now, glaring. She grasps her left wrist with her right hand. Her sleeve hadn't ridden up. She doesn't wear tops with sleeves that do ride up, after all. That look you're giving me now? That one? That's why. I sigh. Yeah. Watch this. I fetch my glasses, but before they're even anywhere near my face, Maya pulls back. Yep, that's the one, all right. I halt, instead folding them up and replacing them in my jacket. It'll be dark soon. Hobart is such a beautiful city. I find that I become dissatisfied anywhere else. No matter how beautiful it might be, I only recently realized that it's because of the hills. Hobart, overlooked by the monolithic Mount Wellington, has hills everywhere. The only place that there aren't hills, mountains, is the river, which itself is carved by an interaction of the same geological features. I find that I can't stand a horizon. Something about it bugs me. It's because I can never see it at home. The sun setting over the mountain in the west casts a shadow over the valley before dark. Seeing the sunset over the horizon then only serves to remind me of how far I am from home. It gets dark on the western shore long before nightfall, and I wouldn't have it any other way. When I was in high school, I developed a knack for reading people. There are there are very, very few people that can hide anything from me, I state. She believes me. I see more than people want me to, I guess. And it's a skill that I used. I used it well. Not well, I guess. uh, I wasn't really what you'd call emotionally stable at the time. None of the things I did were like really bad or anything, not functionally. In fact, I'd actually say that everyone, ended up better from it. But that doesn't change the fact that I was able to read and manipulate people. And so I did, simply for my own amusement. So you don't wear glasses so that you can't read people. Yep, I confirm her conjecture. I'm Imagine you're a somewhat unstable young man. You've just gotten past the whole want to, enslave stupid people phase. God, I was stupid back then. You're told by the doctors that your vision will gradually deteriorate until you are blind. By the time you're 25, you won't be able to read a book, let alone a person's tells. I continue. She can tell that I'm getting towards the point. One by one, the people I told of my degenerative condition would go through the same song and dance, but even though I was trying not to, I really try not to, I could tell that behind it all, they were glad. And so are you, I scoff. It's the truth. Anyone that has known me, known that I do that, instantly starts behaving differently as soon as they know that I can see them. Apparently, the world would be happier if I weren't able to see it. Lucky for it. I. She has been sitting there for a while now. Alopecia totalis, she sighs. Most people can't tell. My eyebrow game is on point. Yeah, it's true. I'll give you that. I'm sorry that you went through that. She pauses again, and that I did the same. No, I brought that on myself. So sorry for looking, I guess. I keep saying that I should, have to wear a warning label or something like that. She's probably deciding whether or not she feels violated. She sighs. She extends her arm to me. You sure? Yeah, she sighs, somewhat defeated. I take her hand. She has strong hands, stronger than mine. She isn't adverse to manual labour, unlike me, of course. Only an inch upward from her wrist, there are a rather large number, of horizontal scars. I sigh. It's a shame to damage such nice skin. I don't do it anymore, though. Her heart rate increases. I used to. Didn't I just explain that I can tell when you're lying? Maya, honey, look at me. I can feel your pulse. Shit! She whips her hand away. How could I? Ah! She scolds herself. Oh my god. Okay, look, I so I would I would say sorry, but look, honey, that one's on you. I know, she scoffs. I mean, I was literally holding your wrist. Alright, okay, no, that was stupid. I get it, she giggles. But I am better than I was, though. And that's the truth. I can tell. How was I supposed to know you were a human lie detector? I just told you I was, woman. No, 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 no. None of this ever happened. No, no. You know what? In fact, you know what? She stands. I'm not even bald, she insists. Yeah? Am I not going blind then? Nope. Yes! Denial. Sounds like a plan. It's the best plan. You'll love it. Ah, that's so not funny. I know, she tee-hees. Don't tell my psychiatrist I said that. She instantly attempts to look serious. Well, if I ever find myself in Italy. Italy, I'll be sure not to let anyone know, just in case. I appreciate that. She sighs. Uh, well, you have to head off now, right? You keep glancing over towards the entrance and checking the tan line on your wrist that continues slightly further than your sleeves and is somewhat watch-shaped. I left it in the hotel in Sydney. But, seriously, can you just, turn that off? Actually, I sell art, I scoff. You... really? She giggles a bit. She already knew that, but it was a real giggle. Yeah, girl. Fortunately, we sell a lot of abstract stuff. I pause. Or at least I think we do. You think? Well, I mean, Mum has been painting abstract watercolours. You know, basically just splashes of colour. Of course, that's what all the other paintings look like too. I tap my chin as we totter down to the entrance. Maybe you should keep your glasses on at work. At least to the point where you know what a painting actually looks like. That might not be a terrible idea, yeah. So, how exactly does a blind man go about selling art exactly? With great skill, my little bored friend, with great skill. You're trying to think of some retort about being bald, aren't you? I literally can't think of anything. How are you supposed to make fun of... How do you make fun of bald people, anyhow? Most people just call me Baldy, or Palato. Or basically it's just Italian for Baldy, you know. Palato Bambina. You know, nothing particularly creative. Ugh, douchebag kids are never that creative. Cue ball, that's one of it, isn't it? I think so, yes, she scoffs. Not so much in Italy. Do people make fun of blind people? Less than name calling, more, you know, oh, not that you'd know, sort of stuff. But yeah, you know, people seem more uncomfortable around blind folk than anything. They still find time to be jerks? Yeah. I'm sorry for before, when... No, don't be. I've literally never met anyone that hasn't had the exact same reaction. Well, I'm still sorry. And I'm, sorry for telling you're bald, I guess. Oh, don't... Okay. We're just doing the same thing, aren't we? Got it. You know, it's actually nice to be able to talk about these things like that. Really? I raise an eyebrow. Unfortunately, I don't have the kind of eyebrow technique that Ali does, but, you know, at least one raises more than the other. Well, yeah, somehow. Yeah. Relaxing, I guess. She pauses as we draw into view of the second strange radar blip. The second, a greyish, indistinct blob of colour, sits beside a larger figure. They hadn't brought a blanket or anything, and are instead leaning upon a rather charming flowering cherry. Unfortunately, not in flower. It's... well, she pauses again. I feel there's no point not being honest with you. It's kind of nice. You know, I keep on telling people that I'd make a great superhero. The bad guy would just be like, and anyway, so that's how it ended with my third wife, which is why the self-destruct code to the doomsday weapon is, you know, 4694 or whatever. It's actually really, strangely nice talking to you. It is. And you, my dear, even if you are still lying to me, I sigh. What? Right to my face. I fetch my glasses from my coat pocket. I haven't been using my ESP, but even now I can sense the look of fear spreading across her face as I apply my spectacles. I hope you have a license for that. I call over to the two men under the cherry tree. Maya's jaw drops. Foreign national? The larger of the two men halts as he stands, rearranging the coat, laying it over his arm so that the right-angled lump might be less visible. Class H firearm. Maya's look of terror deepens. Probably throw you lot in prison without so much as a g'day, mate. It really has been a pleasure chatting with you, though. I give the young lady a little bow as I withdraw my glasses. I snuck a card into your pocket before, by the way. Text me if you want to come to the party I mentioned. Big guy can come too, as long as he leaves the gun at home. Wait, She can't seem to get a word out. That's your rental, right? I gesture to the hatchback with the yellow plates. No need to offer a lift then, I guess. Shame. I bet it would have been an interesting drive. Also, I kind of enjoy it when people get all freaked out when I wear my scopes to drive. I give Maya a moment. Yeah, I figure I won't be getting much out of you for today. I always meet the most interesting people when I'm at the gardens. Never a dull trip. I chortle to myself as a second blip on the radar and the large armed man make their way over to us. I guess I'll see you around then, Maya. I give a brief wave. Wait. She reaches out to me before I've taken too many steps towards the exit. She spent most of the evening rather hesitating, and now isn't any different. I know that for some reason I can't quite see, but I can tell her brow is scrunched into a concentrating frown. What? When you look at me, she finally gets out. What do you see? I see. You know that song at the end of I want to say Desolation of Smaug? I ask. You know the second Hobbit movie. What? She freezes. She has no idea what that has to do with the question. Evidently, she doesn't know the song, or something interesting would have happened. It's a shame. It's a really good song. Evening. The large man gives a little wave as he and the second blip, a sharp-eyed young man, join us. Hey, bro. Should probably leave that home, by the way. You've got your phone and wallet in your jeans. It's not hard to figure out that a third angular lump might be, you know. That's a good point. I've never actually had trouble with that before. He scoffs. Wait, what did you mean by a song? Yeah, you should look it up. Anyway, I'm out of here. I turn and walk away from them. Wait, you can't just... Oh, please. We'll see each other again. I scoff, fetching my keys. We both know that. That is the end of 7 Newton's Prime Phase 1, Part 1. I do hope you've enjoyed the recording, and I do apologise for my accent and or lack of accent in places. If you've enjoyed this, then please do like and or subscribe, and if you'd like to support the channel, please do head over to Nobody of Particular Significance on Patreon. We would absolutely love to have you. This was a very long first part, as I'm sure you noticed, and largely served to establish the character of our protagonist, establishing that he has a life and friends. He is not simply a character that has been, for example, stashed away in a cupboard beneath the stairs, or in some lonely corner of Tatooine, waiting to be taken away on some lively adventure, as many protagonists are. But he is instead relatively content with his life. The next chapter will be similarly as long and will end with a confrontation between the protagonist and his stalkers, ending with probably the best speech I've ever written, and I'm honestly incredibly excited to record it. Until next time, farewell and have a lovely day.